Important update about YouTube playlists. Hey everyone. We've received many messages asking why our YouTube playlists aren't showing up. Do we create YouTube playlists? Yes, we absolutely do. So why can't you see them? Honestly, we're not sure. We've been in contact with YouTube support for several months now, but we still haven't received a clear answer or solution. After much discussion, our team has decided to take matters into our own hands. We believe the issue might be related to the number of playlists we've created on a single channel, possibly too many. Our solution? We're launching 2 additional YouTube channels, giving us a total of 3. This way, we can organize our audiobooks better and avoid the playlist visibility issue in the future. This change only affects our YouTube audience. If you're a patron supporter, you can still access all our audiobooks by visiting the collection menu on Patreon. Thanks so much for your time and continued support. Happy listening, though seeing as you can change genders that likely isn't an issue. I knew I would like you, far better than Leon TCH, always resisting my advances. He then turned to look towards Arcuade and Megaman. So how did you get these 2 prideful ones to serve you? I remember they, along with Violet, were always at each other's necks. You wanna fight, Rouge? Don't go talking bad about me to my master. I find myself agreeing with her. Don't worry about it. I don't know about how you guys were back in the demon realm, but so far you've been great. And Guy, don't you have primordial servants of your own? What's the big deal? The big deal is that no one else has managed to make a primordial subservient except me, you, and your pal Rimuru. Oh? He knows about Diablo then? That's fair, even unnamed you primordials are fairly strong. I can imagine how difficult it would be for most to be able to even challenge you guys, let alone make you a servant. Your ultimate skill, Ouroboros, what is it? I know this odd barrier of yours is from it, quite the interesting ability. So he does have some sort of copying ability, or at least a way to analyze my skills since he was able to figure out the name. Though seeing as he doesn't know what it does, he shouldn't have been able to copy it. It's just an ultimate skill I awakened. That's all, huh? I see. Why don't you come visit me on the Ice Continent sometime? We can chat a bit more there. I'm sure Velzard will also be quite interested in you. You are quite strong after all. That will surely be a lot of fun. Oh? An invitation, huh? Maybe I can get him to spread my name by agreeing? I don't see an issue with that, though I do have one condition, nothing that will cost you anything. He raised an eyebrow as he looked at me curiously. Oh? What condition? When you spread the word about the 2 new demon lords, I would like you to spread my name as Felix White. Wanting to get named by the masses, eh? Considering his age, it isn't odd that he knows of such a method. Hell, he might have even got named through that method. Alright, I agree, I might get an interesting opponent out of you in the end. As long as you visit me, I will spread your name as Demon Lord Felix White. I agree, I'm curious about the so-called strongest Demon Lord as well. Good, I'll have an invitation sent to Gista then. I'm gonna need to change the name of my kingdom, huh? Can't be the Puppet Nation anymore after all. Guy didn't want to pry too hard about my ultimate skill, so we just made small talk until the food got here. The food was soon presented to us and boy did it look good. Seeing no reason not to, I dug in. Man, this is absolutely delicious. I'm definitely going to need to get the recipes. Report. Component analysis complete. It is now possible to recreate the recipes: black tiger stew, grilled sage rooster, golden peach sherbet, and roast earthen sleep dragon steak. Nice. Thanks, Odin. This is the least Guy owes me after making me choose a name. The meat used in these recipes comes from A-rank monsters. I'll have to send someone to gather some for me then. After that I can just give Raiden the recipes and have her cook it for me. She's also been experimenting with recipes, coming up with her own dishes that have been quite good. I'm looking forward to what other recipes she can come up with. Having a dragon maid is truly great. It would be nice if I could go to a world like Food Wars, or Toriko. She could learn quite a bit from those worlds. Veldora ended up showing up a little later. Apparently he was left on a cliffhanger on one of the manga I gave him, and once he got here he decided to stick around, much to the displeasure of Luminous Valentine. As she was leaving she pondered on everything that occurred during this meeting. Those 2, Felix and Rimuru Tempest, are quite interesting. To think there would be 2 new true demon lords born at the same time, truly a once-in-a-lifetime event. They were both incredibly strong as well, though Felix more than Rimuru. He was far stronger than her, maybe even on the level of those old monsters. Though that slime isn't to be underestimated either. Felix even managed to name a primordial without looking worse for it. Even she would have to be extremely careful when naming beings of their caliber. To think beings like those could still be born, truly this meeting turned out to be quite interesting. Though Frey and Carrion's resignation was a surprise, it made sense, but still surprising. That blasted lizard is back as well, though he seems to have calmed down. Not that she will forgive him. Once she was back at Ruberius, she felt something was wrong. She could tell there was a fight around here recently. Once she arrived at the location, she rushed towards Hinata. She was badly injured, though nothing fatal. "My lady, I'm sorry, we couldn't defeat him." She quickly healed Hinata with her kiss of love, then drank the full potion Demon Lord Felix gave her to regenerate her vitality. She needs to be in her peak condition in case the attacker is nearby after all. She will have to thank him for the potion. Defeat who? Who would dare attack her? She looked to the side. Roy was already dead. She watched as Hinata nearly instantly recovered. What happened, Hinata? Who did this? A clown. I was holding him off, but I was unable to defeat him, but then Roy showed up and joined me. That's when the clown stopped holding back. He quickly dealt with Roy, but he spared me for some reason before he retreated. She will mourn Roy later. Do you know what he was after? No, my lady, but he was heading towards the inner sanctum before I intercepted him. So he was after her. Thankfully he didn't succeed. Chapter 33, Part 4. The feast was finished with some fresh fruit being presented. Only 8 of us were left: Guy, Milim, Ramaris, Dino, Dagrul, Rimuru, Veldora and I. Leon and Luminous left a little while ago. Dagrul and Veldora were getting along quite well. Apparently they used to fight a lot back in the day. Carrion and Frey also left a little while ago, with me agreeing to meet Carrion later to finalize his servitude to me. After all, if he is going to serve me, then his nation is also technically under my command. I also overheard Ramaris spogging Rimuru about allowing her to move her labyrinth into Tempest. It seems she was getting barred at her old location. Though Rimuru smartly refused, I wouldn't want to deal with Ramaris all day every day either. I've also put some thought into my territory. I plan to have my direct subordinates as the head of the military over whoever it's under now, that is if there even is a military. I'm not sure if the army I killed was all that Clayman had, but I imagine he had more. Along with that last I checked, Raiden, Siko, and Kurumi should be able to quite easily take control over Gistov, seeing as they are far stronger than anyone there. Last I heard they had just fought an undead of sorts that wanted to worship me as a god. I'm not sure what that was about. The alcohol is great as well, though I had to lower my abnormal condition nullification, much to the displeasure of Odin. Ugh. Cough cough cough. That's got some bite to it. It seems Dino drank too much. Gaha, that's all you can handle, Dino. Watch this. Oh man, Veldora is going to regret this later. Wait, can true dragons even get hangovers? Can I? Dagrul and Guy seem to be able to handle alcohol quite well though. Ramaris is blackout drunk. It seems that Treyini and Barat have their hands full dealing with her. Rimuru ended up leaving with Veldora. I ended up sticking around for a bit longer before eventually leaving with Milim, Arcuade, and Megaman. Overall, I had a good time. The other demon lords were pretty easy to get along with. The entire meeting went far differently from what I would have expected. I also got a neat little demon lord ring that allows you to communicate with any other demon lord, regardless of place. You can make private calls or group calls, though it was made by the frost dragon Velzard, so there is a good chance she can listen in on any conversations. Not a big deal as I had Odin analyze it. Now I am capable of creating my own version of the ring. Once I got to Tempest, I checked in with Raiden and Siko. It seems everything went well on their end. I'll have to check out my new territory tomorrow. For now I'm tired. Guy Crimson, what a truly interesting Walpurgis. Clayman reached too far and got killed as a result, not particularly surprising. At least his death did something. It caused the awakening of 2 true demon lords. 2 new true demon lords will help in his game against Ryudra, especially Felix. He was a devil lord, just like him. To think that there would be a demon who would reach the same stage as him, and one not even a primordial. He was quite magically powerful as well, more powerful than Milim's base state, but not quite at his own level. Still someone even he would have to take seriously depending on the skills he has. Something incredibly impressive seeing as who Milim is the daughter of. To surpass that right after his harvest festival is absolutely monstrous. He may even come to match him in raw power after he acquires his second name. He did consider the possibility that Felix had an ability similar to his own Lucifer, that or something that provided a boost to his base capabilities. If Felix possessed the ability to copy skills, it wouldn't be odd for him to have copied Sataniel and done something similar to him. He even had Blank and John serving him. And his ultimate skill? Ouroboros. A skill he isn't capable of copying, just like Ryudra's Michael, a complete wildcard if a fight were to occur between the two of them. It likely has something to do with space, seeing what his barrier seems to do. The slime, Rimuru Tempest, was strong as well. He also had an ultimate skill. To think he would learn of 2 new ultimate skill wielders on the same day. There hasn't been a true demon lord with a new ultimate skill in centuries, and now there are two? The times are truly changing. He has a feeling his game with Ryudra will soon come to an end. Noir is also serving Rimuru. To think one such as him would bend the knee to someone. He noticed Velzard approaching him. You seem to be in a good mood. Did something interesting happen at the Walpurgis? Gahaha, yes Velzard, today was a truly entertaining day. I haven't been so excited in centuries. Oh? I didn't think mere demon lords could catch your interest. What happened? He went on to explain everything to a now interested Velzard. To think there would be another skill as strong as your Lucifer, and Ryudra's Michael, is he truly that strong? Yes. In a fair fight I don't know for sure who would win between the two of us. Oh? That is incredibly high praise, to think there would be someone new capable of possibly matching you, and potentially me. When you invite him over, do let me know. I'm interested in meeting this demon as well now. Haha, I will Velzard, I will. Guy grinned as he thought of the interesting times approaching. Maybe he will invite Felix over after he has settled into his new territory. Yoki Kagorazaka, the Walpurgis was over and 2 new demon lords have been declared. He sent out an emergency report to every nation spreading this information, of the 2 new disaster-class threats, Rimuru Tempest and Felix White. To think his plans would backfire so spectacularly, even he hadn't seen it coming. And now a demon sits on that throne along with Rimuru. It seems his fellow countryman has also won over Veldora's allegiance somehow, adding an extra layer of protection to Tempest. 2 of the demon lords stepped down and chose to serve other demon lords as well. He will have to find a way to dispose of Orthrus. They might catch unwanted attention from one of the new demon lords, and they have been going in a direction he did not approve of for some time now. Cagley has also been livid over Clayman's death. He didn't think she could hate someone just as much as she hated Leon, but color him surprised, the demon managed to do it. He will have to come up with a plan to deal with the new demon lords, the 9 sovereigns, if he wants his dream to be a reality. Chapter 34, Part 5. I gaze down and look at my new territory. It's been a few days since the Walpurgis, Siko, Raiden, and Kurumi were able to easily take control over Gistov, or rather Azeroth. I ended up renaming the kingdom to Azeroth seeing as I was a bit of a Warcraft fan in my first life. It seems Clayman wasn't the best ruler as none of the Dark Elves seemed to truly mind the change in leadership. There were some that didn't approve but Arcuaid quickly took care of them. I don't really want to know how either. The territory itself is quite well taken care of. My new castle is surrounded by a bottomless yet lush wetlands. The wetlands act as an environmental barrier as well as a first line of defense. The wetlands are inhabited by undead under the command of one of Clayman's former fingers, Adelman. Adelman ended up deciding to serve me. Apparently he is a former cardinal of the Holy Church, quite impressive. He was only a step away from becoming a saint before he was apparently sabotaged by some higher-ups of the church causing his death. He was apparently resurrected as a White King by the former demon lord Kazarim, and has been serving as the first line of defense since. Apparently Raiden ended up using some holy magic in their fight, though according to her she wasn't going all out against him, and she was only able to use a lesser form of holy magic. What she didn't expect was for him to request to meet me. I didn't even know Raiden knew holy magic. Apparently she tried some more advanced spells and was upset that they didn't work. She thought that maybe her faith was lacking, which seemed to unnerve her. Though I corrected her once Odin told me that wasn't the case. I decided to help her since I knew what was wrong thanks to Odin. I also know it is possible for believers to call upon their god's power. Basically it allows people to use the name of their god as a medium to open a soul-based channel between them. This can be used to help cast all kinds of magic, at the cost of magic power. I made a pact with her with me as the god in the relationship, and her as the believer, which allows her to use more powerful holy magic while also allowing me to use holy magic to a higher level as well. I'm now capable of some extremely high-tier holy magic, like disintegration, the strongest offensive holy magic which causes spiritron decay within the target. Basically whatever is in the area of effect gets erased at the speed of light. This includes people's souls. A very scary magic if used properly. However, as more people under me start to use holy magic, it will be harder for me to maintain as I can't assist so many people at once. So I linked together and borrowed the cumulative calculation power of all the people that believe in me to help share the burden. Due to this, the burden placed on the user for holy magic is low. The power of the holy magic is almost entirely dependent on how much faith the user has in their respective god. The stronger the faith, the stronger the connection between god and believer, increasing the power of the holy magic. I wouldn't have been able to do something like that without Odin's help though. I'm starting to sound like a broken record, but man, Odin is such a cheat. While I do not have a lot of believers, my subordinates see me as a sort of god even if they do not treat me as such. This belief is enough to power the holy magic. This is most likely the system that Luminous also uses, seeing as she has an absolutely massive amount of believers. There is no way she can power them all at once. Now Raiden can call upon my name, and borrow a portion of my power. Back to Adelman, he ended up deciding to serve me as his god, so I've left it to him to continue his former duty while also making a pact with him. However, due to his nature as a being that relies on magicules to survive, his holy magic was harming him whenever he tried to use it. Holy magic can be divided into two categories. First is directly manipulating the spiritrons all around us. Spiritrons are the building blocks of spiritual matter like magicules, holy power, and aura. Spiritrons also don't have any sort of elemental affinity. The second way that holy magic is used is to directly eliminate magicules, which is causing Adelman some trouble seeing as he is a being made up of magicules. I ended up teaching both Adelman and Raiden a spell that Odin developed that will help them both get used to manipulating spiritrons, and since the spell uses spiritrons, it allows for them to use the spell without difficulty. The spell involves firing small rotating spiritrons at high speeds capable of easily piercing opponents. However, it was rather difficult to perform as the user needed to have a high amount of faith in me. I did end up naming him, causing him to get a fairly decent power boost. He has a Demon Lord seed, but I still decided to name him regardless as I wasn't totally sure of his loyalty. When you name someone, you form a connection with them. Odin can use this connection to monitor all my subordinates if I wish for her to. He currently has a bond with every undead in the wetlands, allowing him complete control over the legions of undead there. Only once you get past the wetlands can you gain access to my castle. I've been working on redecorating the castle a bit. Clayman had a bunch of rare artifacts, expensive furniture, and paintings stored in his vault, along with whatever was already on display. That fucker was rich as hell. He had about 5,000 stellar gold coins, each worth 100 gold coins. And he also had about 25,000 gold coins. Not to mention all the other valuable items he has. Safe to say I'm rich. Too bad all his riches went to me. He has a massive wine cellar that contains wine that is centuries old. They are all well maintained as well. I can't wait to give some of them a try. I've even got a bunch of instruments, like a grand piano. Apparently Suko had played an instrument when she was younger, and she seemed especially fond of the violin we discovered. I'm not sure why such an instrument exists in this world, but I'm not complaining. With Suko's personality, I could never imagine her playing an instrument, but I was surprised. With some help from Odin, I was able to recreate the music sheets from my past life and had taught Suko how to read them, seeing as I used to play the piano in my first life. We ended up playing a bunch of songs, even some anime openings. That was a lot of fun. Along with the instruments, I also have so much gold that I don't think I'll ever run out if I was the only one using it. Though seeing as I have a country to run, the gold probably won't last forever. Thankfully, I already have some plans on how to gain some more revenue, and hopefully attract some more residents to my country, seeing as currently there are only dark elves residing here, along with some other weak magian that live in villages and towns around the country. The population is quite large, multiple times that of Carrion's domain, but there is still a lot of land waiting to be developed, as the citizens of my domain are mostly scattered around everywhere, with only some residing closer to my castle. Each village, town had to pay a certain amount of tax each year, but other than that they were mostly left alone. My new office is quite impressive as well. It has a beautiful lavender throne along with an exquisitely crafted desk with gold ornaments, and a crystal ball that allows me to observe basically anywhere in my territory with ease. I also have a large window with a great view, along with a chandelier that hangs in the center of the room. My favorite part, however, are the sealed painting, as I've learned they are called. Basically they are paintings, though they are more like magic artifacts that were created by an incredibly talented artist named Bismarck. These visually stunning masterpieces depict mythical beasts with incredible realism, to the point that they look like they are alive. They can even subtly shift their poses. Thankfully Clayman had a bunch stored in his vault so I can switch them out from time to time. My favorite ones are the dragon, the nine-tailed fox, the hydra, and the basilisk. I really regret not killing Clayman the first time I came here. I could have gotten all these goodies much sooner, and the events that transpired could have been avoided. But maybe it was for the best that it happened. Someone like Clayman would have come along at some point either way, and they might have been more difficult to deal with. Chapter 35, Part 6. That isn't all either. Underneath the castle there are ruins of the former kingdom that used to be here, Emerita. The only way to gain access to the ruins is through a special gate located in the castle. The gate itself is locked with magic, though Odin was able to get through that fairly easily. Once you get through the gate, there are a bunch of golems that have unique grade weapons along with a magical defense mechanism you have to get through. I ended up destroying the golems and storing the unique grade weapons in my vault after fully analyzing them. I decided to explore it another time as I had other things that I needed to get done. My alliance with Tempest is also still going strong, And Arcueid said she would be able to create a formal alliance with Dwargon and Sarian pretty soon. Clayman already had a trading relationship with Dwargon, so there isn't all that much that needed to be changed with them. Sarian is a bit different however, as they are a country of elves that split off from the branch that moved to Amrita. The elves of Amrita turned into dark elves. Hopefully Arcueid doesn't have any trouble building a relationship with Sarian. Rimuru has already gotten to work building a path from Tempest to my territory so that traders and travelers can have an easier time moving between our two countries. Rimuru did say he wanted control over the inns, and the amount of tax that needs to be paid when using the road. I didn't see an issue with it seeing as he was the one building the road. I've left most of the ruling itself to Arcueid. I'm mostly just a willing figurehead that offers protection. Humans generally don't want to invade a demon lord's territory after all. Arcueid told me that Clayman has trade relations with almost every country on the continent, something incredibly impressive, even I have to admit. Clayman used to have all sorts of products he used to trade with other countries, though he heavily relied on slave labor in order to create said products. I told Arcueid to get rid of that practice and to pay all of our workers from now on. Most of the former slave workers ended up staying as they had nowhere else to go. Hopefully I can make life a little bit better for them over time. I do have some things I need to worry about, like the fact that I am neighbors with the Eastern Empire. They are not to be underestimated. They have a reputation for having the most advanced military in the world for a reason after all. Their military power is greater than that of the West's combined. The Council of the West is also likely going to be an issue at some point. It was originally established to deal with monsters and other similar threats, as in general humans need to band together to survive in this world. Now however they have grown incredibly influential, they control the guild, have a massive amount of funding and sway with all countries part of the council. They are considered to be what is keeping the Eastern Empire in check, though if what I have heard of the Eastern Empire is true, then I doubt it. The headquarters of the council are located in Ingrasha along with the headquarters of the guild itself. The council itself doesn't have a military, but as they are what funds the guild, they have the power to order the guild to do whatever they want, which can be a force on its own. The council also acts as a mediator of sorts between nations, often weighing each country's interests against the others, and managing them to prevent conflict from erupting between them. Along with that, certain countries could gain more speaking weight within the council itself through money. The more you paid, the more power you had, and if you decide to stop paying, then you lose all the protection the council grants you, whether that is losing access to the free guild, or the protection that being part of the council on its own grants you. Most nations rely solely on the guild to manage monsters, so a lot of nations had no choice but to support the council. When it comes to war among the nations of the council, there are a few guidelines. For one, they must follow the strict rules that govern warfare, along with having a formal declaration of war. If one country does not follow these rules, then all the other countries will rally together against that one nation. When a nation in the council is at war with one not in the council, the rest of the council generally does not intervene. However, if the nation in the council is unnecessarily cruel, then that can harm the nation standing in the council. The council also offers defense whenever a nation part of the council is invaded by an outside force. When this happens, a nation can request the assistance of the rest of the council. This reason is why there are many smaller nations part of the council, as it provides more security. It is quite similar to the United Nations from my old world. When compared to that, my nation is definitely lacking. Maybe not in raw power, as any of my direct subordinates alone would be a challenge for the council to take on. The rest of my nation is not the same. My subordinates and I can't always be there when needed. In these scenarios, having other decently strong subordinates can help. Unfortunately, I ended up killing most of the standing military when I went through my harvest festival. There are still around 1,000 Magians that are left in the military, but they are incredibly weak, likely why they were left behind by Clayman. Still, I had Megaman take command of the remaining military. Hopefully she can get them into shape so they are total fodder. I definitely need to increase the amount of soldiers I have in the military. Thankfully I do have a few ideas on how to go about that. I sent Raiden to the Kanat Mountains a few days ago. I am hoping she can recruit some dragons to serve my nation. Once named, dragons can be quite a fearsome threat for a normal military. Raiden should be able to handle all the dragons on the mountain, even the dragon kings. She is quite strong now. She's easily a disaster class and is only growing stronger. Having an overpowered maid is great. She can make me meals and rub my shoulders one moment, then the next moment she can go wipe out an entire army. Then I also sent Arcueid to gather some demons to work for me. She's the primordial of white, so she has quite a few underlings. Demons are quite strong, and according to Arcueid, her lieutenant is quite powerful. He's been undefeated for tens of thousands of years. Arcueid said he may very well be the strongest demon other than the primordials and of course, me. I told her to pick up her other rival as well. Having 3 primordials as servants will be useful, Not only are they strong, they each also have legions of subordinates. Suko is acting as my secretary, though I don't really need a secretary seeing as I don't really do any work. Delegating all my work to subordinates is great. I look to the side as I sense two people incoming. One of them is decently powerful too. Ah, it's just Carrion. Took him long enough. We can finally sort out his servitude to me. Now that I've thought about it, having him as my subordinate can only be a good thing. Sure, I'm responsible for his nation to a certain extent, but I'm still gaining a lot more than I'm giving. Maybe I can include a portion of his military into my nation, at least that will bolster my numbers a little bit. Along with that, beastmen can be quite strong as well. Maybe I can have Kurumi lead them. I turn towards Suko. Could you go and greet Carrion and his subordinates and bring them to the conference room? Of course, Felix-sama. It seems Suko is excited at finally having something to do, though she seems a little nervous today for some reason. How odd. Well, I'm sure she will come to me if she needs anything. Sigh. Well, time to do some work. It's the least I can do seeing as I don't do nearly as much work as Arcuade, Megaman, or Raiden. Hopefully Raiden gets back soon. She makes the best dragon steak. Kinda weird seeing how she is a dragon, but if she's not complaining then it should be fine. Chapter 36, Interlude and Meetings. Once I arrive at the conference room, I take the seat at the head of the table as I wait for Suko to arrive with Carrion. The conference room itself is incredibly luxurious. It's got a fancy carpet, a nice round wood table that releases a pleasant woodsy aroma. The table can comfortably accommodate about a dozen people, and the chairs surrounding the table are also incredibly luxurious. Clayman really did enjoy the finer things in life, not that I don't enjoy them as well. There is a nice fireplace located to the side, along with a special magic artifact that weakens the will of everyone in the room. Of course, if you are strong enough you can brush it off, but against weaker people, it can prove deadly in a negotiation. I decided to leave it there. I hear a knock on the door. Come in. The door opens to reveal Suko, Carrion, and Sapia. At least I think that's her name. She's gotten decently stronger since the last time I saw her, at least she hasn't been slacking. I have completed your order, Felix-sama. I can see that, thank you, Suko. Hearing my thanks, Suko takes her place behind me as she beams proudly. That girl is way too easy to make happy. Sup, boss, I am here to learn what you expect from me as your subordinate. I brought Sapia along as well since she wanted to see you, along with something else which we can talk about a little later. I gave Sapia a short nod as she bows to me. I see, take a seat, Carrion, you too, Sapia. I wait for them to be seated before I begin talking. Since you decided to serve me, Carrion, there are a few things I want from you. First off, I want the ability to command your military in circumstances where I think it is necessary. Of course, I might also order you to accomplish certain tasks as well. I would also like for you to give me 5,000 or so of your men seeing as I don't currently have an army. Of course, I also want an alliance between our two countries. I don't see a reason to make Eurasania into a vassal state either. This might seem like I'm asking for a lot, but I'm really not. Carrion is effectively my subordinate now. He should be doing what I tell him to regardless. I'm trying to make sure I don't take too much from him. I do still want to keep him happy after all. His military is incredibly large, to the level where 5,000 is almost nothing. I don't plan to command his military very often either. I just want to make sure that he understands that I have the power to do so if I desire. I will also have Megaman train up the soldiers and make sure they are loyal. Overall, my terms aren't terrible, especially since he is getting my protection. I don't mean to brag, but I'm really strong now, so he is getting quite a lot from my protection alone. Plus I want to get my own little revenge on him for not talking to me first about becoming my subordinate. But I also don't want him to regret swearing allegiance to me. I guess I'm prideful like that. I observe Carrion's facial expressions as he considers my requirements. He doesn't seem to be all that surprised by my demands. He likely expected them seeing as he is a ruler as well. 5,000 soldiers might not seem like all that much when compared to Eurasania's massive population, but it needs to be kept in mind that a healthy lycanthrope is generally around A ranked at the very least when going all out. Alright, boss, I can do that. Sapia already wanted to come and serve you, so I can send her along with some men for you to start your military off with. You left quite the impression on her the last time you visited, ha. I ignore the blushing Sapia as I wait for Carrion to continue. The only thing I wish for is your protection. Seeing as I am no longer a demon lord, some other nations might try and test their luck. I was already planning to do that. Alright, I can do that. Should I name him? No, I don't think I will. He has the potential to evolve into a true demon lord. If I name him, he won't be able to evolve until Odin comes up with the ability to bypass that restriction. I don't really need to worry about Carrion's loyalty. His pride won't let him betray me. Plus, he's weak. If he does betray me, I won't let my personal feelings get in the way of killing him. Notice. A method of artificially inducing the harvest festival has been devised. The process involves 10 times as many souls as a normal harvest festival, and is done by using Beelzebub to break down the souls into pure energy, then transferring it to the individual in question. As a result, a harvest festival-like phenomenon is created, with a target individual undergoing an awakening evolution, making them an existence equivalent to demon lords. Huh? When did you come up with this, Odin? Notice. A solution was created the moment the master desired it. And why didn't you tell me earlier? This information was not necessary at the time. That's fair. In the future, tell me whenever you come up with a solution to a problem I'm having, don't wait. Got it? Affirmative. Why do you sound sulky? It's just the master's imagination. Sure it is, whatever. Still, 100,000 souls, that's a lot. I have no clue how I can go about getting that many souls. I may be a demon, but even I'm not comfortable going around massacring hundreds of thousands of people. Maybe I can find a method of artificially creating souls in another world? Definitely something I need to explore in the future. Oh well, that's future me's problem. Fuck past me, that guy always hands over his issues to me. Future me is a savior though, I can always trust him to come up with a solution to my problems, and if all else fails I have Odin. Isn't that right, Odin? Affirmative, I will always endeavor to be useful to the master, no matter what. Thanks, Odin, it always fills me with relief knowing I have an overpowered conceptual intelligence to count on. Though Odin can probably blow the eyes from both my past lives movies out of the park. Correct, Odin is by far the most superior skill for the master, far more suitable than even Raphael. Huh? It's almost like you have a rivalry with Raphael. It's amusing to consider that you and Raphael could be communicating about who is better, or better yet whose host is better. Truly, anime clichés have infected me like a virus. It is just the master's imagination, the master should pay attention to his surroundings. Ah, that's right. Still gotta deal with carrion. Thankfully thought acceleration made it so I didn't look like I was spacing out, that would be rude. I turned towards Sapia. If you have decided that you wish to serve me, then I'll have Siko show you to a room, and show you around. Sapia gave me a bow and said, thanks boss. I won't disappoint you. I give her a nod and turn towards Siko who says, would you like me to show her around now, Felix-sama? I would appreciate that, Siko, thanks. I wait for Siko and Sapia to leave before I continue to talk to carrion. He ended up informing me about all the intricate details about his country. Our conversation ended up finishing around dinner time, so I gave Carrion a room for the night, after which I decided to go to bed as well. I don't particularly need sleep, I sure as hell do like it though. As I'm walking to the master bedroom I ponder on what tasks I have to get done. I need to sort out the dragons that Raiden is going to bring, sort out the demons Arcuaid is going to bring. I'll probably have to tame the primordial that Arcuaid is bringing along. Those primordials can be quite prideful, though it makes sense. Hopefully she isn't a handful. I'm already having trouble curbing Megaman's more destructive tendencies. Oh well, she's hot so a lot can be excused. No matter what anyone tells you, looks do matter. Then I also need to sort out the lycanthropes Carrion is sending. Kurumi should be capable of leading them. I can put Sapia under her command as well. Kurumi doesn't have much experience, but she is strong and has a good head on her shoulders. I also need more maids. This castle is huge, far too big for Raiden on her own to manage. Maybe I'll have Raiden pick out some people she can train to be maids. She's been taking this whole maid thing super seriously, so she will probably pick the best of the best. Once I got to my room I quickly changed into my sleepwear. If I'm rich I might as well live in luxury, right? I grin as I go through my closet. I may not need clothing as I can just make clothes with material creation, but I sure do like having extra clothes. I had Shuna make me a bunch of outfits, from casual wear to formal wear. I even got a fancy coat made from dragon skin made. As I am getting ready for bed I hear a knock on the door. Ah, it seems Siko needs something. Come in, Siko. I turned to look at her and noticed she is still in her purple secretary outfit. She must have just finished showing Sapia around. She took longer than I thought. Did you just finish showing Sapia around? Yes, Felix-sama. But that pesky tiger was getting cocky, so I had to show her her place. Ugh, did they really fight? I don't always know what's going on in my territory as I usually leave the management of my universal sense to Odin, who I trust to let me know if anything is happening that requires my attention. I guess technically this didn't need my attention. But I'd still like a warning next time, Odin. Apostrophe. Now you're going all silent? I stare at Siko with half-lidded eyes. At least tell me no one was injured or inconvenienced. Of course not, Felix-sama. As if that tiger could injure me. Ugh, I wasn't worried about her getting injured. Whatever, I'm sure I would have been notified if something had happened. Well, other than that I'm assuming everything went well? Yes, I showed the tiger her quarters and showed her around the castle and territory. Good, thank you Siko, I'm glad I can count on you. I turn back towards my dresser as I continue getting ready. Is there anything else you need? Felix-sama? May I ask for a reward? A reward? Well, she has been a great subordinate, and a good friend too. Maybe over time she could even become something more. Well, she hasn't really ever asked for a reward before. I don't see why I shouldn't reward her. Hopefully she doesn't ask me to try her cooking though. According to Odin, she can use cook to make her dishes taste delicious. The only downside is that it still looks downright apocalyptic. And like I said earlier, no matter what anyone else says, looks do matter. Sure, what do you need Siko? I can maybe upgrade your weapon to the legend grade if you want? I hear clothes rustling and turn around to take a look. Oh. So that's what she meant. Chapter 37, Part 2. This is more of a reward for me than for her, but oh well, I'm not one to look a gift horse in the mouth, plus this must have taken a ton of courage for her to do. I'll respect that. I observe her as she shivers under my gaze. Black lace, nice. Thank you whoever brought black lace to this world. I lick my lips as I approach her. You sure you want this Siko? There is no backing out once we've started. Yes Felix-sama. I was first, I won't let that hussy Raiden get ahead of me. She blurted out with a blush on her face. Oh? So even Raiden is interested? Man, am I a lucky guy. Once I approached her, I took her chin in my hand, without any words between us, my blue staring into her purple. I don't know who made the first move, but soon enough our lips met. I took this opportunity to explore her body more thoroughly. Siko is a bombshell, and it shows. Once my hands were groping her ass, I lifted her up as she yelped into my mouth and grabbed my arms. I took the chance to insert my tongue inside as she wrapped her legs around me. Her grip on my arms got tighter and tighter as I continued to play with her ass and massage her tongue with my own. I could tell she was inexperienced, but she made up for it with her enthusiasm. She slid one of her hands towards the back of my head and pushed me even further into her lips. I took my time exploring her mouth. We only separated once I sensed she was having trouble breathing. No words were spoken as I carried her towards my bed. I gently laid her down as I explored her body. The haze on my mind was far too much, so I used a little bit of my strength to tear off her bra from the middle and take it off. I restrained myself for a moment to look at her face. She nodded and that was enough for me. I slowly kissed down her body before eventually reaching her breasts. She moaned, and without my mouth covering hers it was far louder than before. Her nipples were like two appetizing red cherries begging to be eaten, and I didn't hold back. I grabbed one of her nipples and pinched it between my thumb and index finger while my mouth latched onto her other one, sucking and flicking it with my tongue. Yesh, more Felix-sama. I pulled back slightly and murmured, call me Felix during this. I went back to nipping at her nipple. I felt Siko hug my head, grab a fistful of my hair and pull me further into her breast. I heard her moan harder as I moved my knee between her thighs and rubbed at her core. I could feel my cock rub at my clothes as I continued to play her body like a fiddle. After a few minutes of toying with her, I felt her body shake and shiver like a leaf in a storm. After all that foreplay, she finally came as if a dam had broken. I haven't even directly touched her core and I can already tell she is sopping wet. I released her nipple and looked at her glazed eyes. I only controlled myself from snapping due to my willpower. I slowly kissed my way down her body until I got between her legs. This is her first time, so I should make it memorable after all. No one can ever say that I am not a generous lover. I moved her soggy panties to the side and saw a small tuft of purple hair glistening with her cum above her core. I kissed her lower lips, giving a slight lick to her clit. Her body jumped in shock. I traced her slit with my tongue as she cried out in ecstasy. After some time I lifted her legs over my shoulders and dove into the feast in front of me. While Siko's normal food looked hideous, this looked downright delightful. Felix. Too much. MMFH. I lapped at the feast in front of me, flicking my tongue towards her clit once in a while. I used my fingers to further spread her lips out, giving me more access to her pussy. I felt her grip my hair, but that only increased my own arousal. I could feel my dick throbbing as I gave her pussy a long lick and latched onto her clit. I felt her orgasm coming as she spasmed above me, her back arched as she came even harder than before. Boy, is she sensitive. I quickly cleaned my face of her liquids with magic as I looked up towards her face. Her purple hair was sprawled out all over the bed. I could see a bit of drool at the edge of her mouth, while her eyes looked dazed. Her breasts were heaving up and down and she tried to catch her breath. She looked absolutely erotic. I took this time to approach her face and give her another kiss. This kiss was less erotic and more passionate than before. We eventually pulled apart and looked into each other's eyes. There was no need for words as I used spatial magic to remove all my clothes. I adjusted myself on top of her and lined myself up with her dripping core before I slowly rubbed my cock on her slit to make sure she was ready. Ready? She nodded and I proceeded to slowly slide myself in. Once the tip entered her, I pulled her closer to me before pressing in more. Slowly but surely I slid my entire length in. Sako trains and fights a lot, so she has no hymen. Along with her being properly prepared, she didn't feel any pain. She felt hot and incredibly wet, far wetter than before. I could feel her insides massaging my length. I saw her face begin to relax as I slowly got into a comfortable rhythm of thrusting in and out. Thankfully I was prepared this time. My first time was far different from this. Ugh, I don't even want to think about it. I moved a strand of hair away from her face. You alright, Sako? Yes, move ma faster mgh please, it feels so good. Phew, glad I haven't lost my touch. I accepted her request and started moving faster as I leaned in towards her breast, taking a nipple into my mouth. I felt her wrap her legs around me as she continued to mewl out her praises. Harder and plush more, I love you. That caused me to pause for a second. Even in my lustful haze I could tell she meant it. I wasn't ready to say it back as I did not want to lie to her during this, but maybe in the future I won't have to. I quickly resumed my thrusts as I heard Sako cry out. The room was filled with the sounds of flesh clapping. I felt her come again and again as I continued to thrust. I released her breast and pulled her in for a kiss as we began another round of tongue wars. I continued to thrust as I played with her nipples. Soon enough Sako started thrusting onto me futilely as she was mostly trapped between me and the bed. I felt my own orgasm approaching, so I took hold of her hips, then pulled out until just the tip was left inside of her before I pushed back inside and erupted in the process. I shot my cum inside her as she shivered and tightened up before she collapsed on top of me. Might as well take advantage of my infertility. Gaha, how was that? Hopefully it was memorable enough. Sako blushed a deep shade of red as she hid her face in my chest. It's quite surprising to see a brash girl like Sako embarrassed, I chuckled as I pulled out of her. I still had something to take care of. I was still hard as a rock. My stamina was not to be underestimated. Sako should be able to take it. Her own body is quite strong. Now, time to continue on with tonight's debauchery. I got up, and felt someone laying on my chest. I also noticed some purple locks as well. Ah yes, that happened. Sako is hugging me like a pillow. Guess she is a cuddler, huh? I wouldn't have expected it, but I'm not complaining. Sigh, waking up with someone by my side after so long without sleeping with anyone. Man, does it feel great to finally have gotten laid after so long. Sako and I continued throughout the night and only went to bed at dawn, and that too only because I had things I needed to do in the morning. If the two of us wanted, I'm sure we could go on for days. It's a good thing we don't need sleep, or getting up would have been a pain. The room smelled like sex, so I used some quick magic to freshen the air up. Magic is truly convenient. Maybe I can find some sort of sex magic? That sounds fun. I heard a cute yawn and looked towards Sako. It looks like she's up. Huh? Felix-sama. Gah. How embarrassing. It seems like she remembers everything we did last night. Haha, an embarrassed Sako is adorable. I may not love her, but I do care for her a lot. And after last night I have grown to care for her more than before. Who knows, maybe in time it will become love. Well, that's for the future. It's best to live in the present. Gaha, don't worry Sako, you didn't do anything embarrassing. I thought you were quite beautiful. Something I've learned from experience is that pillow talk is just as important as anything else in a relationship. It's always good to reassure the woman you are with that you appreciate her and that she is cared for. After all, sometimes women spontaneously become self-conscious after sex. I don't think Sako is that type of person though. Felix-sama. Do you really think so? Yes, Sako, you are great. I look forward to doing it again. Now I have to get ready. Feel free to rest though. As I got out of bed I heard her say, next time? Man, she really is a klutz. Chapter 38, Part 3. She looked down towards the dragons that she saw worthy of serving her master. These dragons were quite resistant to serving someone at first. They are quite prideful after all. But, all they needed was a little re-education and they were willing to serve. Yes, maybe her master will reward her once she accomplishes the task he ordered her to do. She turned towards where she felt a few of the more promising dragons approaching from. Raiden-sama. We are ready to go. We had to beat some of the others into submission, but after some time we did it. She turned towards the only dragon capable of human speech. He was a bit odd, though to reach his level of strength without a name is impressive. She's sure her master will appreciate him. Though he seemed to be under the impression that she is the one they will be serving rather than her master. Oh well, she won't correct him. After all, once he meets her master he will surely bow down and proclaim his eternal loyalty as is natural. She turned to look towards the other dragons she is bringing. They are a rowdy bunch seeing as they don't have much intelligence and mostly rely on instinct. She had to beat them into submission at first in order to get them to fall in line. They are all incredibly weak as well, though even she was weak once upon a time, before she saw the light and met her master. She is helping these dragons. They are purposeless, all they do is rampage around and kill other monsters, most of them aren't even intelligent enough to pursue further strength. She is helping them by giving them a purpose, something to fight for. Her master will treat them well after all. Those prideful dragon lord were a bit annoying to deal with. They were upset at an outsider like her coming in and taking their only source of amusement. But they were far too weak to inconvenience her. They were strong, and smart, but they weren't strong enough to cause any trouble for her. She got quite a bit stronger from her master's blessing. It would be a waste if she had lost to these unnamed worms. Siko should have already had her time with master as was agreed upon when she wished to become her master's full-time maid. Siko had originally been quite against letting her cook all of master's meals, but after she promised that she could have her turn with master first she agreed. She would get her turn to serve her master soon enough. After all, it is a maid's duty to make sure their master is completely satisfied in all areas. Let us head back. I'm sure my master must be expecting us. Hinata Sakaguchi, she looked towards her subordinates, the 10 great saints, said to be capable of matching a demon lord. What a joke, she thought. Even she herself didn't stand a chance against any of the true demon lords, let alone them. Maybe they could deal with a demon lord like Daemon, but against an ascended one. All of them, including her, needed to become stronger in order to take on those monsters. She knew from experience. This meeting is over. We have our orders. God Luminous has told us not to interfere with the monster nation Tempest, or the kingdom of Azeroth, and so we shall follow her orders. As they cleared out, she contemplated everything that took place during the meeting. To think that Rimuru Tempest is truly an otherworlder, he probably hated her guts for not even attempting to communicate and jumping straight into attacking. At this point it is clear that the tip she got from the merchant was false. Hopefully she can convince him that she alone is the one responsible and not the entire Western Holy Church. According to rumors, Rimuru is on good terms with Demon Lord Felix White, someone even Luminous was wary of. She did not want to be on his bad side. And then she had those infuriating 7 luminaries getting in her way. Did they really think she didn't know what they were up to? Giving her a weapon that can defeat the storm dragon Veldora? Yeah, right. Chances were it would somehow inhibit her in the middle of a fight in the hopes that she gets killed. Still, to think Rimuru would kill an entire army of 20,000 in an instant. Demon Lord indeed. The current lineup of the Demon Lords, the 9 sovereigns, are on an entirely new level in terms of threat level. Still, something felt off about the whole situation. Rimuru has been trying to be subtle. His takeover of Falmouth hasn't come out to the public yet, so sending her a message blatantly asking for a fight seemed a bit counterproductive. Could he hate her to that level where he simply ignores all his other goals? No, from what she knew of him she didn't think so. That is, unless an evolution into a demon lord changes someone. Gaining that much power at once would be difficult for any human soul to handle. She saw herself how much trouble Shizu-sensei had with containing Ifrit. And Rimuru is multiple times more powerful than that. She considered if Rimuru lost his last shreds of humanity when he ascended. Sigh, well, she will have to see when she goes to meet him. Hopefully he can be reasoned with. Grandel, he looked towards his descendants, the 5 elders as they took their seats, the true rulers of the West. The Council of the West was formed due to their influence. And while the council seats were theoretically chosen by each individual nation, in practice only those under the Rossos ever got picked. Their power stretched far beyond their own borders, outclassing that of entire nations with ease. The Rossos could be called the de facto rulers of the West. It was due to their influence that Yoki Kagorazaka was even able to form his free guild. He looked towards the center of the room where one of his best agents was seated. From the look on Glanda's face it seems her cover is still intact. Truly she is one of his best agents. He lucked out when summoning her and binding her to his will. She even managed to become one of the 10 great saints, an impressive feat. And while even with his binding on her he could not completely trust her, but as his beloved Mariabelle said, he could trust her desire to live and her greed for money. He looked towards the so-called merchant of death, Damrata of Gold. Sir Damrata, it seems your lies have been discovered, have they not? According to Glenda's report, Hinata had discovered that she was used to instigate conflict with Rimuru Tempest. Hey, that is correct. But I don't see an issue with that. I may have lost Hinata Sakaguchi's trust but I gained something far more valuable, your trust. Shrewd businessman indeed. He ignored his rambling as he considered how to deal with Hinata, Rimuru Tempest, and this new demon lord he hadn't heard about, Felix White. Though he had heard of an adventurer with the name of Felix. We both agree that Hinata needs to be dealt with, correct? Of course. Originally Veldora, the storm dragon, was the Empire's greatest impediment in claiming the Jura Forest. It does not matter if he is truly under Rimuru Tempest's control, after all we now know he can be negotiated with. That can be an opportunity for us. In that scenario they can both win. The Eastern Empire can get rid of a thorn in the form of a storm dragon, while he can get rid of Hinata. She has grown far too powerful far too quickly. She stands above even Yuki Kagorazaka. Then there is that Rimuru Tempest. He does not know what sort of motivation he has for ruling Falmouth, but he does not want that land under the control of a demon lord. They continue to discuss the finer details of the plan before coming to an agreement. So you want us to deal with Hinata then, Sir Damrada? That should be possible. No need to worry there. Hinata saw Rimuru Tempest's message. She should be marching to Tempest soon. Said Glenda. I see, that is good to know. But what if Hinata actually kills Demon Lord Rimuru? That can be useful to us as well, but don't worry, Rimuru is not like demon lords like Clayman. He is dangerous. We will have to take care of him sooner or later, but with Veldora on his side it would be ill-advised to do so without a plan. I see, I will leave it in your hands then, but what about the Demon Lord Felix? I've heard from a verified source that he and Rimuru Tempest are quite close. If both he and Rimuru face Hinata, even she won't stand a chance. Won't that be counterproductive as they are likely to take her in for questioning rather than killing her? He makes a good point. He looked towards Glenda and smiled. Yes, she will do quite nicely, but she won't be enough to stall a demon lord, let alone possibly maim one. While this demon lord Felix White should still be in the process of awakening, he used non-human souls for his ascension after all. He is not to be underestimated. Maybe he can have her take one special member from Blood Shadow, the shadow force of the Rossos. There are some stronger otherworlders part of it, but the one he had in mind was a cut above the rest. She could have even posed a challenge for his younger self. She could have been the leader of the Blood Shadow rather than Glenda, if only she was more proactive. Her ability to control dragons should also help in their fight against the Demon Lord. After hearing about the new Demon Lord, he ordered his subordinates to investigate him and was able to learn that Demon Lord Felix White has a dragon subordinate he cares for, something that can be used against him. If the two of them kill this Demon Lord, great. If not, then they should at the very least stall him long enough for this Rimuru Tempest to finish Hinata off. They should be capable of getting away fairly easily as well. Glenda is quite capable at spatial motion after all. He smiled as he began to explain his plan. Glenda, she grit her teeth as she left to go get ready for her suicide mission. That damn Granble, sending her against a demon lord? That's practically suicide. Even with the help of her it would be incredibly difficult. She could suck up being practically enslaved. After all, she got paid well, and got stronger. But this... She needs to find a way to get out of this mission along with her dear friend. She didn't deserve this, being summoned to another world and enslaved due to the greed of a few people. She is one of the last people that can be called a saint, but at least she had a bottom line. Once she arrived at her destination she heard someone singing, sigh. This is all she does in her free time. A shame that no one else got to hear her beautiful voice. Ah, Glenda-san, is that you? Yes, it's me. I just got back from meeting the boss. We have a mission coming up, get ready. Hopefully she can get the Demon Lord to spare her friend. She can save herself, but Ingvild is far too innocent for this cruel world, no matter what her race is. Chapter 39, Part 4. I look towards where I sense Raiden coming from. It seems she brought quite a few dragons, more than I was expecting at least. About 50 medium dragons, and one archdragon, though not a dragon lord, still quite impressive. I didn't expect her to bring an archdragon. Once all of them are named they will be quite the formidable force. Not much has happened since Siko and I slept together. Siko didn't seem to want our relationship to change, so she went back to being my secretary, just with some other benefits. Getting a blowjob from under a desk is great. She needed some practice but she got the hang of it quick enough. Other than that, carry and send some troops over. I ended up handing them to Megaman to train up and make sure they are loyal. I'm not sure what method she is using, but going by the screams of misery I've been hearing, I think it's safe to say that her training is incredibly harsh. Hopefully they will be ready to go under Kurami's command soon. I also ended up naming Supia, seeing as she will be one of my subordinates I wanted to name her. She got a decent power boost from the naming. She ended up being compatible with one of the unique skills I had, Amplifier, so she got a copy using Beelzebub. Odin decomposed both Amplifier and Operator as well. She said that they were of no use to me, so it would be better to decompose them and absorb the energy. I didn't really disagree with her, so I let her go through with it. If I needed either of those skills again, I can just recreate them with Odin. Supia and Siko developed a bit of a rivalry, though I'm not sure why, as Siko could beat her in a fight with her eyes closed. Era, it seems Raiden-san is back. Would you like me to receive them, Felix-sama? I turned towards the speaker. Kurami hasn't had all that much to do recently other than training, so she has been hanging around me, much to the displeasure of Siko. No, it's fine. I will see them myself. Knowing dragons, they are probably going to be a pain to get in line at first. They need a show of strength. I see, I will follow you then. Do as you please. It doesn't take long for Raiden to arrive. I approach their landing spot and am immediately greeted by Raiden, who practically teleported in front of me. Greetings, Master. I have accomplished the task you have assigned me. Hello, Raiden. Thanks for that. Having a bunch of dragons to throw at armies will definitely be useful should the worst happen. It was my pleasure, Master. I am honored to be of use. Man, this chick is taking the whole maid thing super seriously. I turn towards the dragons. I'm assuming they are all willing to serve me? Correct. I had to discipline them a lot at first, but after some time they learned their place. Ouch, that does not sound fun. I should probably show them the difference in power between us so none of them get any bright ideas later on. I see. Listen to me, you lot. If any of you think I am not worthy to serve, come and fight me. If you don't say anything, I'll assume you are all okay with serving me. I noticed the only archdragon in the group approaching me. This one had a human form as opposed to the rest. I will fight you. I was under the impression that we would be serving Raiden-sama, not someone like you. I will beat you and free Raiden-sama from your clutches. Geibaru? Is that you? Have you incarnated into a dragon? Only you could be such a simp. I could feel an aura of anger leaking from Raiden and Kurumi. Man, this guy is not going to have fun once Raiden had her turn with him. She can be quite vicious. And I might not have known Kurumi for long, but she is incredibly loyal. Apparently she used to live in a monster kingdom similar to Tempest. Her mother was the ruler of it. But the Eastern Empire attacked them due to the rich land they were on, and in the process wiped out all of her people except for her. She was given to Daemon as appeasement since the Eastern Empire slightly invaded his land. Ever since then she was enslaved by Daemon and served as his guard dog. Boy, am I glad I killed the fucker. Alright, I won't move at all. Throw your best attack at me. I watched as a large amount of magicules began to gather in his mouth. It seems he is a fire dragon, but really? A fire breath? How original. I waited for him to fully charge it up. It seems like he is putting his all into this one attack. Well, I did say to do his best. Even as his fire breath got closer and closer to me, I didn't move. Raiden and Kurumi didn't move from behind me either. The attack was quite strong. Even Daemon would have to defend if he didn't want to die, though that only makes sense seeing as this dragon almost completely drained his magicule capacity. I watched with a smirk as the dragon was shocked. After all, his fire breath wasn't moving anymore. It was caught in my infinity after all. Too easy. Well then, are you willing to serve me? Or do I need to show you the difference between us more? As I said this, I flared my Demon Lord's Hockey. I haven't had a chance to use it yet. I made sure to not direct it at both Raiden and Kurumi. The other medium dragons, however, were not so lucky. They couldn't even handle a tenth of my hockey for a moment before going unconscious. The archdragon is faring better, but not by much, seeing as he is on the ground, barely remaining conscious. Why yes, I'm sorry, my lord. I smile as I withdraw my hockey. It's fine. I know you dragons are a prideful lot, though I don't know if Raiden will be as forgiving. I saw him take a look behind me and pale at the look Raiden was sending him. Poor guy. Alright, get up now. We need to get you and your kin settled in. It didn't take too long for the other dragons to regain consciousness, though they seem to be afraid of me now. Alright, Raiden, all of these dragons will be yours to command. We can call it the Dragon Corps. A good name. Make sure to train them up in your free time. I started giving names to the medium dragons first, seeing as they don't have much intelligence. It's best to get that sorted out sooner rather than later. Hopefully, like Raiden, they can evolve after I name them. I ended up naming all the medium dragons with different variants of the word Draco. One was Draken, the other Drakant, etc. Took a page from Rimmeru's book on that one. I turned towards the archdragon. I didn't want to name him the same as the rest, seeing as he would be Raiden's lieutenant. Aha, you will be Prunga. A good name if you ask me. Who wouldn't want to have the same name as a wish-granting dragon? I watch as he underwent his evolution in the blink of an eye. Ah, Prunga. Thank you, Felix-sama. I will endeavor to serve both you and Raiden-sama well. A dragon lord, quite strong. He doesn't have a unique skill, but those don't just grow on trees. He should be capable of beating Carrion up now, so he will definitely be useful. I really need to get Carrion stronger. He is probably my weakest direct subordinate. Hell, some of my subordinates' underlings are stronger than him. All of a sudden there were a loud crash. Haha. I felt your hockey go off, Felix-sama. Is there someone to beat up? I've been itching for a fight. Gah, god damn it, Megaman. No, there isn't anyone to fight. All I did was flare my aura. But if you want a fight, how about you spar with one of Raiden's new subordinates? Her eyes immediately locked on to Prunga. She probably felt his aura as he can't get it under control yet. This should be a good learning experience for him. Hopefully he can get used to his new level of power quickly. Oh, If you're asking, then he must be strong. Alright, let's go. I watched as they flew off into the distance, after which I soon heard the sounds of nuclear magic. Sigh, I really did name her aptly, she really loves her explosions. I turned towards Raiden. Can you get the other dragons settled in? Some of them evolved, so make sure they learn to control their new strength. Feel free to beat them up if they get uppity. We don't want them to be overconfident after all. Yes, Felix-sama. I turned towards Kurumi. Alright, let's get back to what we were doing. There is still some stuff I need to do. Ugh, hopefully Arcuide gets back soon. I really don't like administering a nation, even if it isn't really difficult for me since I just get Odin to do all the work for me. Chapter 40, Misunderstandings and Meetings. It's been about a week since I named the dragons, and Arcuide is still not back. I can only internally plead for Arcuide to hurry up. I don't think I can handle much more of this work, even if Odin is basically doing everything. It's just so boring. I would be worried about what is taking her so long, but I can tell that she is fine through my connection with her. The demon realm is massive, so it makes sense that it would take some time to gather all the demons she wants to bring. Along with that, I still haven't gathered enough energy to give myself a power boost from receiving my second name, but Odin said that due to my current strength, quite a lot of belief is necessary to give me a second name. She estimated that almost the entire world's collective belief would be necessary to gather enough energy. It takes time for word of a new demon lord to spread after all, with all the mostly isolated villages and all. Information does not travel nearly as quickly here as it does in a modern world. I ended up deciding to just leave it be. I'm not in urgent need of strength at the moment after all. There aren't many ways I can decrease the time needed other than terrorizing the world, which I am not particularly inclined to do. I continued going over my plans for developing my nation. I have a few ideas on how I can improve the general state of living. The central world isn't very modern, by no means is it caveman-like. There is some pretty advanced stuff in some kingdoms. Still, a lot of things aren't as developed as Earth. The food isn't as good for most. In order to eat the truly good stuff, you generally need to be strong or have a high status. The stuff that guys' maids cooked was all from A-rank monsters. No human could casually eat stuff like that, not even a monarch. But Guy handed them out like candy since it is so easy for him to get. It is also easy for me to get, so I thought, why not? I can also bring some modern cuisine back with me whenever I travel to another world. Speaking of that, how is the progress on figuring out the coordinates for the world I was summoned from? Notice, the process of locating the coordinates for the world known as Jujutsu is 83.721% done. It's almost done then. You found it faster than I thought, seeing as you basically need to scour the entire multiverse to look for that world. Nice job. Odin is simply doing its duty. Yeah, just accept the praise. Apostrophe. Now how should I go about gathering the food that I want? I already have a rice farm. Seeing as Rimuru already laid the foundation for it, it wasn't difficult to set up. Rice is a staple dish almost everywhere on Earth, so many things can be made with it, so I'm looking forward to when it's fully prepared. For now I will have to get rice from Tempest if I want it. Thankfully Rimuru is generous when it comes to me, so I was able to acquire a bunch for a low cost. From what I've heard, he's been milking all the other countries for everything that they want. I established a trading relationship with Uraz and Nia for their signature fruits. I'm sure I could have asked for what I want for free, but I didn't really want to take too much advantage of them for something incredibly minor. I was able to make alcohol out of the fruits that I asked for, and boy is it amazing. Probably the best alcohol I have ever had. I have made some wine and beer so far. Hopefully I can develop the alcohol business far enough for it to be something that other nations can be interested in. I currently have some subordinates producing all sorts of alcohol and storing it in a cold warehouse. Cooling isn't something that is super well known in this world, so chilled alcohol will be something new to them. I turn my attention towards Raiden, who is massaging my shoulders. So Raiden, how are the new dragons? Anything you need for them? I felt Raiden pause her massage for a moment before continuing. No master, it did take some time for them to get used to their new abilities, but they are hard-working, so they were able to learn quickly. Now that they have felt what true strength feels like, they are eager to grow stronger. It seems my hockey had quite a large effect on them. Though it makes sense, if I wasn't even capable of standing in someone's presence, I would be eager to grow stronger too. I see, that's good. What about Prunga? How is he doing? I remember Prunga was in a bad state after his fight with Megaman. If it wasn't for self-regeneration, then he would have needed a full potion to fully heal up. Though it seemed like Megaman took a liking to him, she said that he just kept on getting up, so he was a useful punching bag. I sense a lot of pain in Prunga's future, though he didn't seem to mind. It seems he is a bit of a battle junkie himself. He is doing well, he listens to my commands, he is also respectful now that he knows his place. He has been training with Megaman, and according to Megaman he is growing stronger due to their fights. His rate of improvement is slow, but it is still there. Ah, if Brunga had a Zenkai he would be overpowered by now, huh? Do you and Megaman talk often? I didn't know that you two were close. Did you not know, Master? All of your direct subordinates meet up once a week to discuss how we can better serve you and how we can help you accomplish your goals. What the fuck? That sounds a lot like a cult. They meet up every week? What could they know? Am I always being watched? No, I would have sensed it, and I'm sure Odin would tell me. Who even brought up having meetings? Okay, that is kinda creepy. I am going to pretend I never heard that. Hopefully Siko did not reveal our escapades. Even I would be embarrassed about that being talked about. At least it seems like they are all friends. That's good, right? Is that so? Anyways, what's for dinner today? I always look forward to your cooking. You might be even better than Shuna now. Truly, her cooking has improved by leaps and bounds since I first tried her food. Now I prefer her cooking to even Shuna's cooking. I see. I am glad that you enjoy my cooking, Master. Oh, is that a blush? How adorable. The ever-stoic maid gets embarrassed from her cooking being complimented. Today I will be preparing black tiger stew, along with grilled horned rabbit. Oh, I can't wait. I haven't had a chance to try black tiger stew since the Walpurgis. But aren't both those monsters D-ranked? When did you have a chance to hunt them? I ordered Prunga to hunt them down for you, Master. Once he heard it was for you he was incredibly eager. He truly has become a good subordinate. Isn't that like way below Prunga's pay grade? He's a certified disaster class and he is hunting monsters for me to eat? And why does Raiden look so proud? Ah, I see. Well, if he is the one doing the hunting, do give him some of the food as well. Tell him to consider it his reward. Ah, my master truly is a kind and gracious lord. I am sure Prunga will be delighted upon hearing your praise. Well then, I better finish up these plans so I can eat your delicious meal. I'm currently working on making a bunch of blueprints for buildings from my past life, though it's more like Odin is doing everything. Odin is able to easily create the blueprints, so it shouldn't take me too long. I bet all those civil engineers from my past life are jealous. It takes them hours, sometimes even days to make blueprints, and here I'm making them in seconds. Odin truly is the best. I'm planning to make blueprints for modern housing, plumbing, sewage, stores, pools, basically everything that a modern country needs. The only reason I didn't start this as soon as this territory became mine was because I wasn't sure how I should have it all built. Clayman didn't have enough people skilled in construction and I didn't want to rely on Rimuru for everything, so I didn't want to ask for him to lend me some orcs. I ended up deciding to offer the former slaves the opportunity to construct everything. They don't have all that many skills, so a bunch were eager to learn and become more useful. They were quite thankful to me for releasing them, so they wanted to pull their own weight. Along with that, they didn't really have anywhere else to go, and what I offered them was a good deal. I sent them to the craftsman that Clayman had already secured to learn from. Last I heard they should be ready to work in about 2 weeks' time. Together with the former slaves and Clayman's original craftsman, I should have enough men to build everything I want, if at a slower pace than Rimuru's orcs. I've also made use of a few warehouses Clayman wasn't using to store magic ore. I'm hoping that after being exposed to the magicules everyone is releasing, they will turn into Magisteel. With the combined aura of Arcuaid, Megaman, Siko, Raiden, Kurami, all the dragons, and all the demons Arcuaid is going to bring, it should be more than enough to mutate them. And I'm sure the population of Azeroth will grow over time, causing even more magicules to be in the air. The only downside to that is that my territory will become more and more hazardous to humans who do not have a high tolerance for magicules, but I'm sure I'll be able to figure something out if a time when humans actually want to come here comes. I do already have a bunch of Magisteel along with some Orich Alchem and Mithril, which is Magisteel combined with silver. I also recently experimented with Magisteel and learned about an ore, Adamantite. Adamantite is formed when Magisteel is exposed to an immense amount of magicules, so it basically super evolves. It is harder than diamond but is also incredibly flexible. According to Odin, it is almost like a living thing. Absolutely absurd. I've been trying to create more, but it is incredibly difficult to form. I only have about 5 kilograms worth so far. I'm considering getting a weapon formed for Raiden out of it. She said she doesn't really use weapons but is willing to learn. I also plan to upgrade Siko's weapon with it. Siko only has a unique grade blade after all. Alright, that's the last blueprint, Raiden. Could you start preparing dinner? It would be my pleasure, Master. I stare at an apologetic Milim as she tries to calm down a furious Midrayi. What a pain. It all started when I felt Milim, Midrayi, and Ark approaching my castle at high speeds. I quickly stopped them as knowing Milim, she would crash into my beautiful castle and damage it. I just got this damn castle. I don't want to have to get it repaired already. It turns out that Frey has been forcing Milim to be an effective ruler. Poor Milim, having to do actual work now, couldn't be me. She ended up finishing up all the work that Frey was making her do, so she decided to visit me with Midray as her chaperone. It seems Frey didn't think Ark could keep Milim under control. I, of course being the generous host that I am, invited them to dinner. Who knows, maybe Midray will finally learn what real food is. Unfortunately Megaman couldn't join us due to having some work to do. She has been sparring with Kurumi a bunch. It turns out that Kurumi herself asked for some training. She said she wanted to get stronger and become more useful. Sako joined them. Thankfully I used isolate on their training field or they would end up destroying the entire country. Such hard-working subordinates I have. Back to the meal. As soon as the dishes were placed in front of Midray, he said, "This is not the kind of food Milim-sama should eat." Demon Lord Felix-sama. He kept going on and on with his criticism without even trying it. I can tell Raiden is holding back from trying to beat him up. Ark has been looking towards me apologetically the entire time. Poor Ark, he can't do anything. I look towards Milim. If he doesn't want to eat, that's fine, we can't force him to. After all, people will generally do the opposite of what you want them to if you force them. Humphrey, he is being mean to Raiden. My bestie's subordinate made food for us. Dumb Midray shouldn't say those things without trying the food. That's true, I myself want to beat him up, but I can control myself, it's his loss after all. To treat nature's gifts like this. Not only have you cooked it, but to add all these unknown spices? It is fine to do this in your own territory, but please do not rope Milim-sama into this. These kinds of people are a pain to deal with, they will not admit they are wrong no matter what. I pity Milim if she has to deal with this whenever she gets food from somewhere else. Midday continued going on and on about how meat should be enjoyed at its purest. I tuned him out as we all continued to eat. As I was eating though I saw Milim make an evil look on her face. She quickly grabbed some food and shoved it in his mouth as he was talking. Midday's eyes widened, he looked like he didn't understand what just happened. Fee, this is? Ah, it seems Milim got through to him, he will finally understand the greatness of Raiden's cooking, Gaha. See, I told you it was good. Midray, stop being a big baby and eat. It's so good. This one bite is more delicious than all of the vegetables I eat. Dude, it's obviously going to be better than raw vegetables. This guy really was living in the Stone Age. After that we enjoyed our meal in relative silence. Hey Milim, I'm going to visit Tempest in a little bit, wanna come? I was planning to go later, but if Milim is already here I might as well go now, who knows when Frey will make her do more work. I can show Ark off. He has gotten stronger, I bet he can beat up all of Rimuru subordinates. Now that I take a closer look at him, it does seem like he got a tad stronger. He was already an archdemon, so he was pretty powerful. It seems like his magicule capacity grew along with his mastery over his skills. Haha, maybe he can beat some of them up, but Diablo and some of Rimuru's direct subordinates would stomp all over him. Gah. I forgot about them. How do you forget about one of the primordial demons? I can understand the others since their race isn't as well known, but seriously? You forgot about a primordial? Oh yeah. Where is Arcuaid? I haven't seen her. Oh, I sent her to gather up some more subordinates for me, seeing as I now have a country I am responsible for, I thought I should get some more strong subordinates. Oh. Yeah, the Dragon Faithful are quite useful, they are pretty strong too. I bet they are. Gah. Milim-sama. Thank you for the praise. I shall increase everyone's training regiment in order to make them more useful to you. Haha, great. Stronger sparring partners is always fun. I do not envy the Dragon Faithful, Midday's training regiment can be pretty brutal. I'll be ready to leave tomorrow, I still have something I need to do before we go to Tempest. I'll get you 3 rooms. Okay. Make my room right next to yours, Felix. Fine. Chapter 41, Part 2. I gather everyone that is coming with me to Tempest around. I ended up bringing only Raiden as I want Sako, Megaman, and Kurumi to stay back in case something unexpected happens. Those 3 are strong enough to hold off most threats long enough for me to get back. Sako complained, but it wasn't too difficult to make her see reason. She's been more agreeable ever since we slept together, another plus in my book. Milim is bringing Midray and Ark with her, hurry up. I want to try that new food you were talking about. Hold on, be patient, let me make sure that Supia is prepared to head to the Valley of Death. I use universal sense to figure out how she is doing. Looks like she is packing some stuff along with ordering everyone she is bringing along to get ready to leave. She should be able to handle the rest on her own. I ended up finding out about the Valley of Death a little while ago. Basically it is a path that leads into the Eastern Empire, meaning the Eastern Empire has a way to access my territory, not something that can be considered good. The path itself is through jagged mountains, there is no paved road, and the terrain is harsh. There are even monsters that reside in there, but even then it isn't impossible for a small force to travel through as long as they are well trained. Kurami's home village used to be located here, so it is possible to reside in. I ended up sending Supia along with a small force of lycanthropes and craftsmen to build a base in front of the valley so that we can always have some troops watching there. I plan to leave that base under Supia's command. It might not be able to stop an invading force, but they are capable of warning me ahead of time so I can prepare. Along with that, Rimuru invited me earlier saying he wanted to discuss something. He also mentioned that he managed to recreate sushi. Apparently he caught some fancy fish and had Hikaru make it into sushi. That'll be a nice treat for us. Maybe Raiden can sneakily steal the recipe too. I use our Ouroboros to teleport us, and in an instant we arrive at my home in Tempest. I look around the room we teleport in. I haven't been here in a while. Nice to see nothing changed. Raiden chimed in, no one would dare invade your home, master. I was talking more along the lines of I'm glad that this place is still here. The house Rimuru had made for me is big, bigger than Rimuru's home. I'm sure they could use the space for other things, so I'm thankful they left it as is. I don't think Rimuru would get rid of your home, Felix. He's your friend. Friends don't do that to each other. But I'm the better friend. I roll my eyes. She can get really defensive about that. Yes, you are the bestest of friends. We are all greeted by the civilians as we exit my house and head towards where I know Rimuru is. That's one thing that isn't seen much in other countries. The people here are nice. As long as you don't disrespect Rimuru, they will treat you great. Tempest is a generally pleasant place to be. I would live here full time if I didn't have a country of my own to run. Soon enough we arrive at the building where Rimuru's office is located. I believe that this building is the biggest one in Tempest rather than the ruler's home like in most countries. Rimuru said he didn't need a big home due to being a slime and not needing sleep or anything really. His home is mostly used when I come over to hang out with him. I introduced Veldora to Blackjack, along with a few other games, so we all played them together a few times. I wish we could play Smash. I bet that would be a ton of fun. Once I arrived I was promptly brought to where Rimuru was working. Poor guy, he can't give all his work to his subordinates. Sup Rimuru? He looked up from the paperwork. Felix. I see you brought Milim too. She was together with me. She said she wanted to try out the sushi. It turned out really good. You are going to be so jealous once you eat it. We'll see about that. So you wanted to talk to me about something? Yup, hold on one second. Shuna. Could you come and show everyone around while Felix and I talk? Shuna quickly entered the room. Of course Rimuru-sama. She turned to look towards everyone. Come on, I will show you the new restaurants and stores that opened. Raiden looked towards me. Don't worry Raiden, I'll be fine. Try out some of the new foods, maybe you will get some inspiration. Raiden had a determined look on her face. Oh. New restaurants. Milim looked at me and said, be quick Felix, I want to play with you later. Play with me? She probably means fighting or some game, maybe both. Alright, it shouldn't be too long I think, right Rimuru? Yup, not long. I took the seat in front of Rimuru as we waited for the room to clear out. So, what's up? It seems like the Western Holy Church has taken potentially hostile actions against Tempest. What? What did they do? That's odd. From what I know about Luminous, it doesn't seem like her to want hostile relations with Tempest. She hates Veldora, but still, she can't think that attacking Veldora is worth having two true demon lords and a true dragon upset at you. Right? Hinata-san is armed and on her way here with 4 strong paladins. She has 100 crusaders following about half a day behind her, and 30,000 temple knights have also been deployed and have surrounded Falmouth. News of a powerful demon residing in Falmouth has spread. That's probably Diablo, huh? I see. Hinata is a saint, even if an incomplete one. She isn't someone to underestimate, but as long as you play it smart you can deal with her. You could always just kill them all in a surprise attack, but it would be a pain to deal with the aftermath of that, maybe as a last resort. Gah. You sound just like Diablo. We don't know for sure if they want to fight. Maybe she just has guards following her in case things go bad. I rolled my eyes. We are from the same lineage after all, and Rimuru, don't be delusional. She is someone who nearly caused you to lose so many people you care about. She has repeatedly shown that she does not care for your reasoning. Stop letting the fact that she is from Earth blind you from considering the other possibilities. Ugh, yeah I know they might not be coming here with good intentions, but it doesn't hurt to hope. I'm already prepared for a fight. I just wanted to let you know that you should be careful. If they are taking action against Tempest, then there is a high chance they will take action against you. That's a reasonable concern. I'll have to tell everyone to be a bit more careful. Why don't you just use your Demon Lord ring to contact Luminous and demand an explanation? I want to try and talk to Hinata first. She is Shizu-san's student after all. I don't want to have a bad relationship with her if I don't have to. But maybe you're right, your country is also at risk after all. I shouldn't risk that over a potential friendship I could have. Your wishful thinking is making you ignore the tropes. For all we know, she may be unaware of all this. She doesn't seem like the type of ruler that cares too much about what her subordinates get up to. It is highly possible one of her human subordinates in the Western Holy Church is plotting against us. They are a massive organization after all. She can't know everything that is going on. And it's the church. They are almost always the bad guys. They even blatantly advertise that they are against monsters, so it wouldn't be surprising if they had a bone to pick with you, the ruler of a monster nation. So you're saying that there could still be a chance that Hinata just fell to another misunderstanding? Hopefully we can get this all sorted out soon. If that is the case, even having a neutral relationship with them could be helpful. It could show the world that while they might not approve of us, they are not completely against us. I can contact Luminous now. Hopefully we can get everything sorted out. Chapter 42, Part 3. I can contact Luminous now. Hopefully we can get everything sorted out. Siko, Megaman, Kurumi quietly up security levels in case of sabotage or imminent attack. Yes, right away, Felix-sama. Sounds like something exciting is about to occur. Typical of that explosion-loving hothead. It shall be done, Felix-sama. There might be, but keep it quiet as it could be a false alarm and I don't want to cause panic or alert any possible infiltrators. Yes, I got it. Now how do I get this ring to work? Aha, now that I observe the ring with my senses closely, I can feel 8 other rings throughout the world, 3 of them located in Tempest. Theoretically this ring can allow you to contact someone in another world. Guy's partner, Velzard, sure knows how to make some cool artifacts. I contact the ring that I sense in the Holy Empire Ruberius, along with adding Rimaru's ring to the call. It takes only a moment for my call to be answered. What did she do now? Hello to you too, Luminous. Me? I'm having a good day, thanks for asking. Yes, I was also having a good day, but then I learned there is an army and your strongest subordinate leading it towards my town once more. So as you must have realized, I am a little concerned. And then I started blasting. Felix, stop messing with her. Don't make the situation worse. Ugh, another millim, but intentionally a headache instead of one as a side effect. Gaha, I gotta keep myself entertained somehow. I've recently discovered how fun it is to bother you, Luminous. And it is all thanks to Veldora Shizu. I could tell Luminous was incredibly annoyed by me, but she deserves it. Keep a better eye on your subordinates next time. What is that wretched lizard doing now? Is it not content being a sole annoyance? It's now also teaching others to be annoying. Felix. Stop dragging Veldora's reputation further through the mud. Veldora Shizu likes it when I boost his rep. In fact, should I invite him into this discussion? Hey, are you listening, sister of Veldora? Make him a ring. We didn't invite her to this call. Why would she be listening in, Felix? Because she made these things and has next to nothing to do most of the time. It wouldn't be a surprise if Guy also had access, seeing as he is her partner. Honestly, from what Guy told me about her, she is basically a NEET. She and Veldora are more alike than I thought. What is a NEET? Of course Luminous wouldn't know the term. It means not in employment, education or training, basically a term for bums who do nothing but laze around leeching off of working members of society. Maybe she isn't listening in? That should have triggered a response from what I heard of her from Veldora. Velzard, a NEET he calls me? As if someone like her has to do any work. It is a privilege of the strong to be able to do whatever they please. She will make sure to give this Felix a piece of her mind when they meet. Gahaha, a NEET he called you. That's a fun one. Dino fits the term to a T. Shut up, Guy. Going by his definition, you're a NEET too. No, you could say Veldanova employed me to watch over this world and ensure the balance between races is not tipped in favor of any side. GRR, how dare this Felix make her look bad in front of Guy? Maybe she should inform her dear sister about this new anomaly in Guy and Ryudra's game? That ought to cause him some trouble. If he can't handle some attention from her sister, then he isn't worth having Guy's interest anyway. Anyways, back to the point at hand. Hinata is on her way to my town with 4 of her paladins and an army. I need answers. Huh? Oh yeah, that's why we called. Ugh, what is that idiotic girl doing? I tell her something and she does the opposite. Is it possible she has been deceived by one of those sage fellows? I would not say it is impossible. They have not received my love in a while after all. I'm sure they are desperate for their youth. Your love? Does sleeping with you give youth? That's an interesting skill. And something I'd totally be interested in. Arimaru is giving me a dead stare. Why is he acting as if he wouldn't do the same? Maybe I should inform Shuna that Rimaru is interested but just too shy to initiate? Now that I've gotten laid, it's my job as his friend to do the same for him. The sacred Brecco demands it. No, you imbecile. Ugh, there is no point explaining it to you. I see that you two are currently at the same location, along with Milim. I shall come meet you in person along with Hinata to solve this issue, that is unless you have a problem with that. So a wild vampire shall appear in Tempest? Count me in. Time to put my seduction skills to use. Yes, you can came to Tempest now, and Felix enough with the jokes, she doesn't even know what Pokemon is. Ah, she left the call, not even a goodbye. You know, I think I'm starting to understand why you and Veldora get along so well. And it's a pity that the sexy dragon wasn't listening into the call. How do you even know what she looks like? Veldora projected an image of her for me. She is a 10/10 for sure. Oh well, we can end this call now. I project an image for Rimuru to see. Oh wow, she is a total hottie. Veldora's whole family is attractive. Personally his other sister Velgrind is more my type. Sadly she's taken though. Also, I forgot to ask, but how come you had your name be spread as Felix White instead of just Felix? Oh, a last name is kind of like a second name, so I plan to give myself a last name and don't want to go through the hassle of people being confused when I'm referred to as Felix White. Ah, I see, so was White your last name in your previous life? Yup. I headed to the conference room while Rimuru quickly ordered someone to prepare some snacks and beverages for the meeting. I had some alcohol in my stomach, so I had Rimuru use those. Maybe I can get a customer out of Luminous. He turned to look towards Bacchus, Lytus, and Fritz. Each wore a look of shock on their faces. Just who was it that arrived to pick Hinata up? Hinata seemed to know her, and even be subservient towards her. Could the silver-haired woman be someone higher up in the church? Even higher up than Hinata herself? No, that isn't possible. Hinata has authority second only to that of the Pope, that is unless the silver-haired woman was an apostle of the goddess Luminous. If so, they must follow her orders to the letter. Come, we must go back to the Holy Land as the apostle said. None of them disagreed. Chapter 43, Part 4. Eventually I saw space itself be cut, followed by the appearance of a giant gate. The gate opened to reveal two beautiful women, one with heterochromatic eyes, and the other with a confused look on her face. It's nice to see you in person again, Luminous. I turned to look towards the other girl, and you must be Hinata. I analyze her with Milimai. She is fairly strong, far stronger than a demon lord seed at the very least, but she's a saint, even if an incomplete one, so it's to be expected. She even has two unique skills. She seemed to be ready for a fight, likely due to being in the presence of two unknown demon lords. I turned to look towards Luminous, who ignored me, and looked towards Rimuru. Demon Lord Rimuru, I am sorry for the trouble. She isn't apologizing to me. That could mean two things. One, she is so pissed off at me that she doesn't care if her subordinates trouble me, which is unlikely. She might be annoyed at me, but I am a fellow demon lord. She is the type that respects that. So that most likely means she had a little chat with Hinata and was able to learn that only Rimuru's nation was the Holy Knight's target. She looks at me. It almost looked as if it physically pained her to do so as she said, "Hello Demon Lord Felix, thank you for that potion you gave me, it was quite useful." Oh? The full potion, huh? It was no problem, Rimuru has a bunch of those. Might as well add some sneaky advertisement. It comes at no cost to me, and can help Rimuru out. A bunch? I see. When Luminous turns away from me, I give Rimuru a hidden thumbs up. He gives me one back. Luminous takes a seat with Hinata taking the seat next to her. Do you two have any preference for your drink? I would like wine. And what about you, Hinata? Do you have tea? Our tea is some of the best out there. The best? I see, I have high hopes for it then. I noticed Hinata observing both Rimuru and I closely. It has been detected that the individual known as Hinata has attempted to analyze the master's skill set. The unique skill, Usurper, has been analyzed. The unique skill, Usurper, has been acquired. Oh? Well, I can't fault her for wanting to learn our capabilities. Thanks for the skill though, Hinata. Oh man, is this skill incredible. Essentially it allows the user to weaken, steal, and copy the abilities of your opponent, even skills, and elementals. The only downside though is that it only works on those stronger than the user. Answer: due to having complete mastery of the unique skill, Usurper, due to Odin's help in analyzing it, the master can also rob, and copy the abilities of those weaker than the master at a higher energy cost. Dude, what the fuck, Odin broken, please don't nerf. Usurper allows the user to copy the skills of their opponents, an automatically busted ability for this world. Still, I'm pretty sure the only reason her skill worked and registered me as an opponent is due to the situation we are in. As far as Hinata knows, she has no clue if we will become hostile all of a sudden, so her skill is registering us as potential foes, which seems to be enough of a requirement to analyze me at the very least. I fear for how broken a skill like this would be if Hinata ever evolved this into an ultimate skill. Hey Odin, since this skill allows you to access your opponent's skills and abilities due to its weakening and stealing effects, Does it also allow you to copy their skills without them having to be an opponent since you acquired the necessary data? Combining the data from Usurper with her own should probably boost her ability to copy skills, or at the very least lower the requirements. Not as the skill currently is, Odin is attempting to assimilate the unique skill, Usurper. The unique skill, Usurper, has been assimilated by Odin. Odin can now copy anyone's skills and abilities. Along with that, Odin is now capable of stealing skills, however this is locked only to the unique level due to ultimate skills being embedded deep within the soul. Along with this, those with ultimate skills are capable of resisting this as their souls are capable of fighting back against Odin's attempts. It seems like the skill's abilities were upgraded a fair amount from becoming part of an ultimate skill. Along with that, the requirement of having to see someone use a skill to copy it is gone since Odin is now capable of accessing someone's skills and abilities directly, as long as they don't have an ultimate skill, allowing her to gather the necessary data. I'll have to be careful if I have Odin attempt to analyze someone who has an ultimate skill. It seems I won't be able to analyze someone like Guy at the very least. Someone like him is bound to be capable of resisting Odin. I am going to become the ultimate jack of all trades, except have mastery of all. The ability to assimilate any compatible skills at an energy cost is absolutely broken. Thankfully, as far as I know, only Odin has the ability to freely modify my skills due to being a skill that specializes in copying and editing other skills, though maybe Raphael can do something similar. The master is correct, Raphael is capable of merging and separating skills, but far from the level of Odin. Yes, you're the best, Odin, I know, no need to be so smug. Now normally you would need an evolution of some sorts to have the excess energy to modify skills like Odin does, but Odin is capable of converting skills I don't need into energy, like what she did with Amplifier and Optimist. So the energy requirement isn't hard to reach for Odin. Though for merging and evolving other skills into ultimate skills, I'm sure it's far more difficult. Anyways, now Odin can even copy other people's skills directly. My hope is that she eventually becomes capable of creating skills. Truly, what an amazing present, Hinata. Chapter 44, Part 5. Now Odin, can you use the data you got from Usurper to prevent anyone from being able to copy any of my abilities? Maybe send out false data whenever you detect someone analyzing any of my skills? Answer. Odin is already capable of interfering with any attempts to copy the master's skills. The data from Usurper has only boosted this ability. Well, I didn't know that. Nice job, Odin. Can you analyze Hinata's other unique skill now? Answer. Yes. Unique skill, Mathematician, has been analyzed. Ugh, Mathematician? I hate math. It seems Mathematician allows Hinata a high level of analysis, predict outcomes which Odin can already do, and allows her to increase her thought speed. I continue to observe Hinata. I'm fairly curious about the woman who was capable of beating pre-demon Lord Rimuru. That's an interesting armor that Hinata has on. From the aura it's giving off, it seems to be around the legend grade. Notice. It has been detected that the legend grade armor worn by the human known as Hinata is capable of elevating her flesh into that of a spiritual being, making her a complete saint temporarily. So she is capable of fighting at the level of a full saint then, huh? Currently she is an incomplete saint. She is a saint in spirit, but not in body. But her armor can temporarily elevate her body to the same level. That might prove to be a challenge for some. I can see why she is revered as a hero of humanity. Saints are capable of matching awakened demon lords after all. Her physique also seems somewhat special. The master is correct. She possesses an anti-magicule physique, causing magicules to get purified upon touching her. That's an interesting physique. Not anything special for the stronger people in this world, but for most I'm sure it can cause a lot of trouble. I focus on Luminous now that I have the chance to analyze her in detail. I should be able to analyze Luminous' unique skill now, right? Will she be able to detect it, Odin? I don't want to take any chances. She is a true Daemon Lord after all. Best not to underestimate her. Answer. No, she will not be able to detect the master analyzing or copying her unique skill due to the host doing so with an ultimate skill. In order to detect something like that, she would need an skill similar to Odin, or the inferior Raphael. Nice, I just wanted to make sure. Ultimate skills really are overpowered against those without one, huh? I analyze Luminous's skills. She only has one unique skill, along with a few extra and intrinsic skills. I quickly copy the intrinsic skills I think will be useful, Charm, and Transform. Charm allows me to manipulate someone's thoughts to a certain extent, and Transform allows me to easily change my physical form. Now on to her unique skill, Lust. It is quite strong for a unique skill. It seems that all of the skills related to the 7 deadly sins are like that, likely the same with the 7 heavenly virtues. There must be a unique skill correlating to all the sins: pride, greed, envy, wrath, sloth, gluttony, and lust. I already have the skills correlating to wrath, and gluttony, along with the data for lust. Lust basically allows you to command the forces of life and death to a certain extent, though it focuses more on the life aspect. It allows the user to gift or take vitality. When draining vitality, it hurts the target an insane amount. It even gets through pain nullification, as it is affecting the soul directly rather than the physical body. Analyze the skill but don't copy it. I don't have that much use for it at the moment. Unique skill, lust has been analyzed. Nice. Once the drinks are served, the conversation starts. Now it has come to my attention that my subordinates are causing trouble for you. Hinata decided to speak up first. I would first like it pointed out that your message to me sounded like you were taunting me into a fight. Taunting? I sent you a message that I would like to meet and discuss our issues. Sure, there was a bit in there to fight one-on-one if I was not able to convince you to talk first, but that was only a last resort. Now Hinata looked shocked. In the message I got, you said that you would like to fight one-on-one. The answer is simple. It's so obvious I'm confused you haven't figured it out. Someone in your organization intercepted the message and tampered with it. Indeed, that seems to be the most likely scenario. I was a human before I was a demon. I know full well how humans work. Constantly seeking out any method to gain more power or remove threats to their way of life, even at the cost of overall stability. Luminous and Hinata both look shocked at this info. It isn't widely known that I am a reincarnated human after all. You too? Said a surprised Hinata. Maybe I should stop playing surprises on you one after the other in case you faint like the Guildmaster Fuse. Ha 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 ha. Man, did that guy faint a lot. Felix, can we stay on topic please? Yeah, it's best we get this over with soon anyways. For once I am in agreement with him. It seems I have some cleaning to do. Okay, so we have established that the message was tampered with, so that deals with the entire reason your knights are coming to Tempest. Now who could be responsible for this? I don't want there to be any hidden threat to my nation. As Rimuru is talking, I had my attention drawn by the blade Hinata brought along. Odin, am I correct in my analysis of that blade? Yes, it has been detected that the sword can be remotely detonated. Hinata, I don't know if you know, but it seems your sword can be remotely detonated. I don't think it was a wise move to bring such a weapon here. What? I knew those fools would try something in order to prevent me from leaving unharmed, but they actually went ahead and did something like this. Oh? Are they responsible for this deception then? How disappointing. Guys, can I be clued in here please? The weapon was given to me by the 7 luminaries. They have a vast amount of authority, and are always scheming on how to increase their power. That fits, always people like that in every large organization. The best you can do is try and be as aware of what is going on in your organization as you can. It appears that this mystery has been solved then. It seems that the 7 luminaries' time is up. Now I am not someone who will not repay my debts, to both of you. What would the 2 of you like as compensation for my subordinates' errors? I can promise you that they won't be causing any further issues for you. No, how about the Western Holy Church announces that Tempest is a country of harmless monsters? And as for your debt towards me, well, all can be paid off if you just keep me in mind whenever you want to give your whole love thing to someone. Gahaha. She ignored the second part of my sentence as she looked at us and said, I see, that is doable. From this day forward the Western Holy Church shall cease hostilities with both Tempest and Azeroth. We may even form diplomatic ties with you in the future. Though I will still deal with that lizard. Hinata, you shall be the one to inform everyone of this change. Yes, Luminous-sama. Hinata does not seem to be looking forward to that. It sounds like a lot of work. It seems Luminous is the type of boss to push everything onto her subordinates. I see, thank you for that. Now would you 2 like to stay in Tempest and try out some of our food? I shall return to deal with those traitors. Hinata however will stay. She can sample everything and report back to me about it later. If she has positive things to say I will consider trying out the food. However, I am interested in this wine. It is quite delightful. Where did you get it from? The wine is something Felix's country is producing. She turned to look at me. Is that so? I would not be opposed to trading with you directly for this wine, Felix. That will be in the future, however. Now I will be leaving. I do not wish to be in the presence of the abominable lizard any longer than I must. And with that she teleported out. That was a fruitful discussion. Maybe I can get a customer out of Luminous? Rimuru turned to look at Hinata. Would you like to try out the bathhouse first? Everyone says that it feels amazing. I'm sure you will like it. Afterwards you can try our food. I'm sure you will be surprised. A bathhouse? I see. Yes, I would like to take a bath, but first. She bowed. I sincerely apologize for all of my actions. None of my subordinates were involved, and I did not act upon Luminous-sama's orders. I don't think you can forgive me for this transgression with Isal. Wait. As long as the misunderstanding has been resolved then all is fine. Besides, Luminous-san already compensated me for that. The only thing I request is that you give up your prejudice against monsters. I know some can be bad, but some can also be good, just like humans." Hinata hesitated for a moment before nodding briefly. Follow me then." Rimuru ended up leading us to the bathhouse. Though his plan to join Hinata in the bath was foiled by Hinata herself, Rimuru tried to persuade her by saying he would show her how it's done, but she wouldn't budge. "You know, I can change genders, so I would be willing to make the sacrifice to help you." Rimuru is also genderless. "Weren't you both males in the past?" "What's in the past is in the past. Now I am whatever I want to be." "No. I refuse." "It seems she is capable of resisting my charm." "Haha, fine. Shuna ended up overhearing and offered her assistance, so that put the final nail in the coffin. Odin took the opportunity to analyze Shuna's unique skills, now that she didn't need to directly see skills in order to analyze and copy them. Shuna had 2 unique skills: Analyst, which has a few sub-skills like Thought Acceleration, Analytical Appraisal, Chant Annulment, Olive Creation, and Law Manipulation. Her second unique skill, Manufacturer, is an interesting one. It basically allows her to create her own unique magic. When combined with Analyst, she can basically copy any magic she sees. It isn't a skill that will be useful to me seeing as Odin can do all that, but maybe I'll get a subordinate that might find such a skill useful. While Rimuru and I were in the male section, he ended up explaining the other thing he wanted to talk to me about. He said he is holding a festival to introduce himself as a demon lord and ruler to the other nations. He invited me to attend. It is quite a good idea, seeing as he wants a good relationship with humans. Holding a festival will help them become more familiar with Tempest, and maybe make Rimuru seem more trustworthy. Plus Tempest has a ton of attractions that other nations can only dream of. I'm sure they'll be hooked. I ended up asking to supply the alcohol, seeing as that is one of the few things my country can produce exceptionally well. It will also help get me more business, seeing as all the other attendees will want more of it if I have my way. Rimuru invited Sarian, Dwargon, a bunch of human nations, some nobles, basically anyone who is somewhat relevant. Arcuaid will be back by the time the festival is hosted, so maybe she can make some deals at the time as well. Overall, the festival sounds like it will be a ton of fun to attend. He even mentioned that he ended up finding out what happened to Ponytail. Apparently he was badly injured, and was saved by the queen of a kingdom. The queen named him, so once he confirmed that the ogre village was destroyed, he decided to serve the queen that saved him. He ended up solving a whole conspiracy involving demons meddling in that kingdom's affairs, though it all worked out in the end. Iroh is his name now. Rimuru said he would invite the queen and Iroh to attend the festival. Hopefully I can catch up with him. Hinata Sakaguchi. As she relaxed in the bath, she contemplated all of today's events. At one point she was marching towards Tempest, prepared for a fight to the death. To think that all of this was a misunderstanding, she truly messed up this time. She let her emotions get the better of her. She should not have trusted that merchant. She will have to inform Rimuru about the merchant. He is the one who used her after all. He might still have some plans involving Tempest. Still, to think he grew so much in such a short time. The thought of him fighting against humans made her shudder. When she met him, she used her unique skill, Mathematician, to measure both his and the demon lord Felix White's power. She even tried her other unique skill, Usurper, the one skill that allowed her an advantage to opponents superior to her. It let her easily steal the target's skills. While she couldn't use said skills perfectly, the act of taking away someone's hard-earned skills could be a punishment on its own. Whenever someone was weaker than her, her skill simply told her that the skill could not be used on the target. Usurper would either fail or succeed. If it succeeded, she would instantly know all of her target's skills and abilities. It didn't matter if Usurper failed at first, as she could make it work after numerous attempts. She just had to stall and analyze her opponent. When she fought Rimuru for the first time, the result came back as non-applicable, basically informing her that the fight was as good as finished. This time though, the skill went through the process, but it informed her that it was blocked. That was only the second time she had seen that. Rimuru Tempest managed to reach the same lofty heights as Luminous Sama. And in such a short time period, awakening truly does grant a massive power boost. And then there was the demon lord Felix White. Obviously her skill was blocked on him too, however she could tell he was different from Rimuru. Even with his aura suppressed, she could feel the difference. There was just a different presence surrounding him. If Rimuru was an ocean, then demon lord Felix was hundreds of oceans put together. Absolutely monstrous. While Felix Sama let it go this time, he is not as forgiving as Rimuru Sama and likely took the fact you tried to kill his friend very poorly. Something else of note is that 2 of those servants are named Primordials. What? He has 2 named Primordials as subordinates. Indeed, he has the Primordials of White and Yellow, now named Arcuaid and Megaman respectively, as his direct subordinates. I imagine Demon Lord Luminous already knows about this, seeing as he took them with him to the Walpurgis. 2 Primordials, what a truly fearsome Demon Lord. Still, Maybe they could get along in the future? She didn't want to make an enemy out of someone strong unnecessarily, plus he was an otherworlder like her, even if he was a reincarnation rather than a summon. Chapter 45, Attack? She teleported to her inner sanctum located on top of the sacred mountain. To think that her 7 luminaries would fall so low. She remembered when they were first established, they were each incredibly dedicated to her, if only in order to receive her love. It seems that she had let them go out of control if they thought they could get away with pitting Hinata against a demon lord. Truly foolish. To think even a luminary of the sun, Gran, would betray her. After all, as their leader there was no way he did not know what the others were doing. She likely wouldn't be able to deal with him seeing as he was her equal thousands of years ago. A fight between them would destabilize all that she has worked for. The others, however. It seems that Louis will have his work cut out for him after they are removed. Once she arrived at the meeting room, she summoned the 7 luminaries. All of them except one arrived. It seems that Grandel knows that the sheets have been pulled from under him. He was always a clever one. My lady. They all said with a bow. She gave each of them a look, causing some of them to shift nervously. I recently learned that you all have gone behind my back and endangered my beloved Hinata. Now what excuse do you have for this incident? We only did it for you, luminous Sama. It seems that the luminary of Mercury is far more foolish than she thought if he expected her to believe that. Have mercy. Era, it seems that some have understood the gravity of their situation. Please, for all the years we have pledged out loyalty to you, we beg you. They wanted her love, did they? Then they shall receive it. She opened her arms. I give thou the blessing of death. The 7 luminaries are no more. They came to a painless demise in an instant. Ugh, now she will have to order Louis to deal with the aftermath and call all the paladins back from Falmouth. What a pain. Once I'm finished with my bath I look for Milim, and Raiden. Rimuru went ahead and is showing Hinata around Tempest. I'm sure she will like it here, if only for the food. No other nations have anything even similar to Tempest's food, other than the ones Tempest is allied with. I use universal sense to locate the two, but I'm surprised to discover that Raiden was separated from Milim. And Milim is with Veldora. Those two together doesn't sound good at all. I have a bad feeling about this. Felix-sama. I hope your meeting with Rimuru-sama went well? I turned to where I heard the voice come from. Ah, there you are, Raiden. Where is Milim at? I thought you two would have been together. We must hurry. Milim-sama and Veldora-sama are going to fight. What? Ugh, I don't even leave her alone for an hour and she already makes a mess. Come on, let's go. I quickly head to where I sense Veldora and Milim at a speed Raiden could keep up with. Now while a fight between Veldora and Milim sounds entertaining, the effects it will have on the area around us would be catastrophic. If it weren't for that I would be all for it, maybe I would even join in. It sounds like a ton of fun. I know Veldora has been practicing some moves he saw in Rimuru's manga and anime collection. I wonder if he managed to replicate them? He might act like a goof, but he is a bona fide true dragon. Once I arrive, I crash down in style by making a crater around me. I see why Milim does that. Gahaha. Felix, my friend. Come watch my fight against Milim. Our battle will be legendary. I'm sure it will be. Veldora, why are you two fighting again? That meanie said that he was stronger than me. I have to beat him up to show him who's wrong. Ugh, Milim never likes it when someone says they are stronger than her. She values her strength quite a lot after all. I feel Rimuru coming in this direction, likely due to sensing the aura Veldora and Milim are beginning to release. Even the slightest bit of aura from those two can be deadly to weaker monsters. It's best to contain this. Alright then. The fight sounds fun, so I want to watch. Here, get into the arena and I'll isolate you guys from the outside so you don't destroy everything around us. Ark is looking at me in shock. Poor guy, he probably thought I would be the reasonable one. Tough luck. Midrei seems to be looking forward to the fight though. Ah, it seems Rimuru has arrived with Hinata in tow. Felix. What is happening? Why does it look like Veldora and Milim are going to fight? That would be because they are. Veldora picked a fight with Milim and so she reciprocated. That's Veldora? We both ignore Hinata. Gah. We have to stop this. No we don't. I already sealed off the area they are fighting in from the outside so no harm will come to the surrounding area. Along with that, it seems like Veldora has been holding all of his aura in. The two of us do not have this issue since we can store our excess aura in our stomachs, but the others do not have this privilege. It's best if Veldora gets a chance to go all out. If he doesn't he can erupt all of a sudden once he inevitably loses control, something that will devastate all of Jura. Gah. It's true? He must have checked with Raphael. Wait. You have stomach. Yup, anyways back to the fight. With this fight Veldora can release his aura safely, and we get to see a good show. Gahahaha. Let's get this show on the road. Felix. Ugh, fine. But I'm using my own barrier on top of yours. Uriel. It seems he put up a multi-layer barrier that can basically adapt to almost anything. It even severs space between the inside and the outside of the barrier, similar to isolate. Now the space between the inside and outside of the arena is severed, then on top of that Rimuru severed the space from the outside of isolate, and where we are currently standing. That's one hell of a defense, similar to a lesser multi-dimensional barrier. Ultimate skill, Uriel, Lord of Vows is being analyzed. Ultimate skill, Uriel, Lord of Vows has been acquired. Nice. Odin will disassemble the skill Uriel, Lord of Vows, and absorb the sub-skills Infinity Prison, and Law Manipulation into our Ouroboros. Law Manipulation has evolved into Law Domination. Ah, it seems that I already have Uriel's other abilities. Oh well, Infinity Prison seems quite interesting. It basically entombs the target inside of an infinitely vast imaginary space. It prevents any sort of interactions from the inside and outside of the skill. It is something that can even deal with a true dragon if used wisely. This whole imaginary concept is quite interesting. Since it is imaginary, it is basically infinite. Notice. Odin will analyze the concept of imaginary and integrate it into the sub-skill stomach. What? I didn't know you could do that. Nice go, Odin. I will be Odin's #1 cheerleader. The process of analyzing the concept of imaginary had started the moment Uriel, Lord of Vows, was copied. However, it will take some time. Haha, great. The upgraded version of Law Manipulation, Law Domination that evolved is also quite interesting, where my original Law Manipulation gave me total control over gravity, wind, lightning, and weather. Now it allows me to potentially have absolute control over the laws of the world, from both a magic and scientific perspective. I have absolute control over the 5 basic elements, as well as control over more esoteric concepts like heat and inertia. Though just like Law Manipulation, the overall ability of it is dependent on my own understanding of the world. But with Odin, I can generally understand any aspect of the world that I desire, and since Odin has access to all of my memories, it can understand most modern scientific-related things as well. Goddamn, that is a lot of potential abilities. Rimuru's Law Manipulation was probably formed using the food chain of Beelzebub. He likely has a ton of skills from his subordinates to work with, seeing as how he names everyone and their mother. Once that was integrated into my own Law Manipulation, Odin evolved it into a superior version with all the data she had gathered. Skill collection is probably one of my favorite hobbies. They can be so fun to mess with. Chapter 46, Part 2. It seems the fight has already started. Hadouken. Hadouken. Gah, what the fuck, Veldora? He managed to recreate Hadouken with battle will? That is impressive, though it doesn't seem to be having much of an effect on Milim. Hehehe, you need to try harder if you want to hit me, Veldora. Gaha. I am just getting started. He quickly dashed closer to Milim, Shriuken. He even recreated Dragon Punch. I wonder what other sorts of things he created. Maybe I should try to do the same. It sounds like it could be fun, having a Dragon Ball style energy clash with Veldora. Hey. Felix, whatever you are thinking, stop thinking it. Gah. How did he know? Veldora-sama is truly strong. I must train harder in order to be more useful to Felix-sama. Ah, I think you are already useful enough, Raiden. If you stopped cooking for me, I think I'd cry. Tatsumaki Senpakyaku. Even the hurricane kick, huh? What an interesting martial arts style. I have never seen anything like it before. Seriously, Hinata, you are that uncultured? No wonder you were manipulated like a doll on strings. You don't know what cliches to watch out for. Oh, it seems they've stopped with the games, Tetsuzeiko. Oh, it seems Milim is starting to draw on the true power of Sataniel a little bit, as expected of a true dragon. He might act like a dork, but he is strong. What phenomenal power. As expected of Luminous-sama's hated enemy. That's my friend Veldora. Ah, Rimuru is bragging again. Oh? How come that attack landed and hurt Milim? That doesn't make sense. Normally Milim would sense possible danger from an attack and avoid it. This time, however, it seems she ignored it, thinking it wouldn't do anything, but in actuality it caused some damage. Could that be due to a skill of Veldora's? Maybe one that enhances damage? Ultimate skill, Faust, Lord of Investigation, has been analyzed. Oh, so he has a skill that specializes in luck and probability manipulation, huh? He probably increased the odds of Milim ignoring his attack, that or increased the odds of the attack doing damage to her. He also has a sub-skill that allows him to basically receive any answer to the questions he asks, sort of like a lesser cursed sage. I don't think this skill really fits with my skill set though. Odin, can you store the data of the skill for future use in case I want to recreate it? I don't really need it right now. Having the data for this skill should be enough if I want to incorporate it into a skill in the future. Acknowledged. Odin will store the data for ultimate skill, Faust, Lord of Investigation. Great. It seems Veldora is finally going to start using his abilities as a true dragon. Black lightning. I watched as a massive bolt of black lightning came down from the sky, one that would probably vaporize Clayman with ease. Mwahahaha. You'll need to try harder if you want to beat me, Veldora. I see, it seems that I have underestimated you, as expected of the child of my elder brother. How about we settle this with one final attack? Oh. That sounds fun. Hold on, that stance, could it be? Kamehame no way. He actually recreated the Kamehameha. Gaha. What an interesting attack. Is Milim charging up a Drago Nova? This is going to be awesome. I get to see a beam clash in real life. Hold on. Stop you two. Ugh, they aren't listening, an attack like that will destroy the barrier. Let's just reinforce it, come on, don't you want to see a beam clash in real life? Ugh, fine, just help me reinforce the barrier. Drago Nova. Both their beams met. In the center I could see both beams clashing for supremacy, though Milim's Drago Nova is winning so far seeing as how it is true dragon magic, whereas Veldora's is just an application of aura manipulation. Holy shit, that looks intense. Ugh, I'm so jealous. I definitely have to do something like that with Milim or Veldora. What power? As expected of a demon lord and true dragon. It seems Hinata's worldview is being shattered. She may be powerful, but she isn't even close to this level yet. I can feel the aura from outside the barrier. I look around and notice a small crowd gathering. The crowd likely isn't larger due to there not being many monsters that can withstand the aura from this fight. The only ones here are Raiden, Benimaru, Shuna, Sai, and Gobda. Basically only the strongest of Rimmaru's subordinates are able to remain conscious, and even then all of them are on the floor fighting for their lives except Raiden, seeing as I am protecting her with a barrier. The fight soon ended in a draw as while Milim's Drago Nova was stronger, she would need to get truly serious to beat Veldora with it. Gaha, that was so much fun. Milim looks happy, she probably hasn't gotten to fight that hard since our last spar. Indeed. I was able to test out my Veldora style killing arts. So that's what he named his style? You two seriously took it too far. If it weren't for me and Felix then that could have been bad. Such a worrywart. Huh? But you two were there, right? Then it's fine. That is what I was thinking, Veldora. That's not the point. I look towards Raiden to see how she is doing, and notice a determined look on her face. Actually, all of Rimmaru's subordinates that are here have that same look. Weird. Once Rimmaru was done lecturing Veldora and Milim, we decided to eat something before leaving. Behold. Sushi. I had to go through so many struggles to find rice in this world, but I have finally done it. Milim and I clapped as we began to dig into the sushi. Oh man, this is good. Never tasted a fish like this before, though I guess it makes sense seeing as we are in a different world. This tastes really good. As expected of my sworn brother. Even Hinata was enjoying the sushi, though she asked for no wasabi like a child. Hahaha, praise me more. All of a sudden I receive a thought communication from Siko, Felix-sama. We have detected two people coming towards Azeroth. They both seem to be quite strong. What would you like us to do? Ugh, I thought this issue would have been solved with Luminous. Guess there are some other factors involved. Hold on, don't do anything yet, I will teleport back and see what they want. Just make sure to secure the area around you. Yes, Felix-sama. I sighed. An issue popped up, so I have to go back to Azeroth. I'll pick you later, Milim. I ignore what Rimmaru is saying as I quickly grab Raiden and teleport back to my castle. Felix-sama. They are approaching quite quickly. They are both decently strong too. From what I am sensing, the one in the back is stronger than Clayman. They seem to be a demon of some kind. Chapter 47, Part 3. I quickly fly towards where I sense the two invaders followed by Raiden. Once we arrive in front of them, I greet them as I analyze their capabilities. Hello there, now what could the two of you be doing here? The two of them looked shocked. It seems no one is going to say General Kenobi, huh? What a cruel world. It seems the redhead in Elite isn't enlightened. Quite the revealing outfit she has. It seems she has a gun tucked away on her thigh. Interesting. I didn't think guns existed in this world, though it makes sense. There are quite a few other worlders around. Some of them must have spread the technology of their old worlds. It seems she is under the control of someone, and she has a unique skill too. She's probably around the level of a Daemon Lord Seed. The demon in the back looks kinda familiar. Notice. The one with lavender hair greatly resembles Ingvild Leviathan from High School DxD. She possesses the ability to control dragons through song. Odin has already placed a sound isolation barrier around subordinate Raiden's ears. Ingvild Leviathan? Seriously? At least that confirms that DxD exists somewhere out there.